Hey,
Welcome.
you know what, Kev? It's Joss that we're taking forever. By God.
Welcome, everybody, to the 71st episode of Chatting with Nuts. Just a couple minutes late here because, I feel like I haven't talked to this person actually in quite a while because they've been so busy. Too busy for me, in fact. And that is our good friend, the semi-permanent co-host, Alan from the
That's
Library of
right.
Allenxandria.
Jimmy's the freaking Taipan of long form content on BookTube.
I'm the Taipan.
Yeah, Kev gets the reference.
Is that just because it's so long?
No, it's because you're the I don't know. It's because you're the best in the biz.
Oh, well, thank you. I think I'm the best as well, actually. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I feel like we really were just sitting backstage getting caught up because I feel like I haven't talked to you since last Chatting with Nuts. Like it's been so long.
Well, no, we talk on the Telegram, but also a lot of stuff especially if it's been a couple guests on Chatting with Nuts, I'm I could talk to Jimmy about a bunch of stuff, but it's getting that time where I'm going to be on Chatting with Nuts. So I'm going to store stuff up for when we talk about Chatting with Nuts.
I do appreciate that you understand that because I will purposely kind of just stay away from people who are about to come on the show because I want it to be organic and I don't want to run out of things to talk about. And some people take that and they kind of get nervous, especially if it's their first time. They're like, is everything good? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I just don't want to talk to you now. I want to talk to you then.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're out of conversation, then it's not going to be a great episode.
We ain't going to have to run a conversation because if it starts to dull, you know what we can talk about? All the freaking stuck up people who hate me in One Piece chats. We can talk about them all day because you know what they can do? They can sit on it, Fonzie. How about that one? You can go to freaking Al's Diner and you can put your thumb in your bench on your booth and you can go ahead and sit on that and spin around.
Wait, are you saying that One Piece people don't like you?
Look, I always thought that I was a delight, but there are people who do not think so. In fact, not only do they not think I'm a delight, according to them, I have single-handedly ruined all One Piece discourse from now. In fact, I've retroactively ruined previous One Piece discourse.
You have actually ruined my experience, and I'm not even a part of it.
Oh, I know. Because you know what I said? I said One Piece was about pirates, and that just ruined it. And I said it energetically, and we hate that. How could anybody like something? We've all got to be like, well, today on talking about shonen anime, which is filled with action and over-the-top stuff. So today we're going to sit here and we're going to analyze frame by frame what Oda's intention was for each particular thing and make sure that you like the exact parts of One Piece that I like. And if you at any way insinuate that it is not the exact level of awesome and appropriate that I thought it was, well, you, sir, deserve to die. And I hope that you do tonight because you have ruined One Piece for me. Thank you, sir. And I am going to submit a sternly worded comment because I actually am I am human garbage. And I think that it is my duty to tell people that you are human garbage because me as a random commenter on the internet will definitely tell your friends who you're talking with what to do. And they'll kick you off because of my opinion, because I am clearly more important than your friends. So I'm signing off and going to live in my house by myself because my wife won't stay in the same room with me because I'm insufferable. So there you go. That's my impression of a YouTube commenter.
I always thought that you talked like that whenever you were a teacher, but I know that's not the case.
No, I talk like this. I had two kids come in my room today, be like, Mr. Walker, and it's two of my good kids. Can I take my test that I missed yesterday? And can I take my test early instead of fifth period? I'm like, why? Why can't you take in fifth period? Well, I'm not going to be here. I'm like, why? Where are you going? Oh, we're volunteering at the Scottish Festival. I'm like, the Scottish Festival is this weekend. They're like, yeah, but we're setting up today. I'm like, during school? What is the Scottish Festival even about? Do you know what it's about? Oh, you don't? Are you missing third period classical studies? They're like, yeah. I'm like, out. Get out. Hope you don't forget the test over the weekend. Bye. That's how I talk as a teacher.
I actually thought about this because I know you were getting some hate for the One Piece chats that you've been a part of, and I can feel like you just being like, I I just don't want you to talk to me like this. And I have a question. Do you like being a teacher because there is a certain amount of respect that has to be given, or discipline happens? Like, do you think that power dynamic helps you feel more comfortable when like presenting something or talking in front of people?
So, I mean, are we gonna get like real like this early?
Yeah,
Like
why not?
I have a weird like power dynamic thing. So I love being in my classroom because it's very clear. Like the power structure is very, very clear. Like they are the students, I am the teacher. Now I
Yeah.
don't discipline because I don't like doing it. Like I never write kids up. I've written like one kid up, and it's because some freaking kid, like many years ago, this was like 9 years ago, maybe my first or second year teaching, whatever. Some kid was caught in the stairwell, like hooking up with her boyfriend. And I was in the bathroom or whatever, and came in late, not realizing that, hey, I don't even take attendance till afterwards. And as long as you're not perpetually tardy, I don't make you tardy. Was so paranoid that I had marked this girl tardy and that her mom was going to ask if she was going to get caught in the had been found in the stairwell. Went over to my computer and changed her attendance. Like in the freaking like school system, which is an automatic congratulations, you have 10 days out of school suspension. So I was like, what are you doing? But that's the only, like, I don't write people up because I have a good relationship with my students, and
Yeah.
the times that I get really angry at them is when they do not do what I ask them to do. And it's usually when I'm not there. Like they think that if I'm not there, that I don't need them to do what I left them. And this includes after they've been yelled at multiple times from this happening. They still do it.
I mean, I did that in school. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I understand that.
When the teacher was out, it was like the greatest day in the world.
I get that, but these kids are we're supposed to be different, like me and these kids. So I like that. I really struggle with people who, even if I am more experienced at something, when people are older than me, I have a really hard time, just for example, my former teachers want me, like I work with one of my former teachers, and he wants me to call him by his first name, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. I have a really difficult time calling my in-laws by their first name because it's a weird kind of like they're my elders, like they're not, like I don't call adults that are in different power dynamic like by their first name. It's just a weird thing, and it's always been a weird thing for me. So I talk to people that are younger than me, or people that are older than me that have less experience and stuff, and I still struggle. Like if I was ever put in charge of people who were older than me, I would have a difficult time bossing them around.
Yeah.
So I struggle with power dynamics. I struggle again. Hey, first time watchers, in case you don't know, I'm on the autism spectrum. And I don't know why I tried to say autistic and I turned it into autism. So that's why I said autism, but it should be autism.
It's like autumn.
Yeah.
But not.
So I don't have, I struggle with things that are unclear. So yeah. So unclear power dynamics are hard for me, but it's not like I like my classroom because I have authority and can boss people around. Like that's not a good look.
No,
I like
it, but it's more so obvious that like they're going to hear you out, right? And that you're going to be able to have your moment to speak and then kind of defend yourself. Whereas like if you get on a stream, like chatting with Nuts, for instance, and you go off about something, you can't really guide the conversation of responses to you, right? Because anybody can watch it and anyone can comment. So I feel like it's more of an even playing field, and people can take what you said out of context or misinterpret you and run with it, which happens to literally everybody on the internet, I think.
Yeah. I had been insulated with my wonderful side of my community because I realized that everyone who subscribes to me thinks I'm a delight, as I am. They have the right opinion. Like truth isn't relative. Like they understand truth. And all of those other people are not people who this is why I will never have like Murphy or Daniel Green subscriber number. I can't, because I cannot appeal to a broad audience. I can't, because then I'll get those jackwads and the freaking butt Dylans who come out here and are just like,
wait, butt Dylans?
Have I not told you about Butt Dylan?
What does that mean?
All right. Okay. Make sure you bring me back to Butt Dylan. All the freaking Butt Dylans who like just hate me. Well, here's the thing. First of all, to quote my students, they hate me because they ain't me. That's what my students would say. But really, they just hate me because and like I have a tone. I said it to Murphy last night. I was literally complimenting Philip and Murphy, but it sounded like I was excoriating them. And I'm like, guys, I have a tone. I've gotten in trouble for my tone my entire life. I don't mean to sound this way. This is just my voice. When I am being kind and gentle to my wife, it does not sound like normal people being kind and gentle, because that's just not how people sound. It's supposed to be like, and I can't even do it fake. Like I can't even do it fake. Like, so here. When freaking one of my students told me that the ladies down front think I'm mean. And I'm like, what? And it's because they think I'm unfriendly when I answer the phone. Now, understand, I answer the phone during my class while I'm lecturing. My freaking phone rings and I have to pick it up because someone needs to go check out because their parents can't keep them in school all day. So I lift up the phone because I'm in the middle of teaching. Doing my job. I pick up the phone and I say, Walker, and they say, hey, hi, can you have so-and-so to check out, please? And I say, okay. Okay, thanks. And then I hang up the phone and I get back to doing what I was doing, which was teaching. Apparently, they think that's mean. I don't know what they want me to do. Hello, this is Mr. Walker's class. Oh, yes, I would love to send them down here. They're right here. I'll send them right down. They'll be right down in just a second. Thank you so much for calling. I'm not going to do that.
I think this is a really good example of how your brain works, though, because it doesn't have to be either one of those things. It could just be Walker. Oh, hey, I'm glad you called. Yeah, I'll send it right down.
I'm not glad they called. They interrupted my job. I am trying to teach.
They're trying to do their job too.
I understand, but their job is stupid because the parents shouldn't be checking them out of class. I am being annoyed because someone's parent can't leave their kid in school for 7.5 hours.
And then they come back with McDonald's in the lunch
Or
room.
They call it happened today. And Riley's a wonderful student. I love Riley, but it's her birthday. So I got called in the middle of a freaking lecture of my class, and it's especially from my third period because it's my favorite lecturing class, my Greek history class. Hello. Hi. Can you send Riley down to guidance for just a minute, or to the front for just a minute? Because someone had dropped something off for her birthday. I'm sorry. Not worth interrupting my class. It's not worth it. It's not. No.
I mean, they're just doing what they're told to do, right?
Okay. I'm theoretically doing what I'm told to do, but I have never worked a job where the people that hired me to do a job do more to stop me from doing the job that I was hired to do by these same people.
I think that's pretty common in my profession as well, in a different way. Like, I'm supposed to just write code, and I spend so many hours a day not doing that because everyone else has other things that they would like me to listen to or to do. And that is very frustrating because you're like, I specialize in this one thing. It's my job title. Why am I doing this other thing? So I can understand how that's pretty frustrating. Exactly. Now, do you feel, because you don't like surprises, like you're not a big fan of surprises. You don't like being shocked. I'm not a fan of bad surprises. If someone surprised me like, hey, Alan, guess what? We've brought you $1 million so you can retire and actually take care of your family without stressing yourself out that you're going to freaking lose your house when your mortgage, which surprise, surprise, goes up next year. I would be delighted. I would not be like, I hate that. You have surprised me. Please leave me. No. But I do hate when someone's like, Christina, where's Christina? Because I love my wife, and it's going to sound like I'm talking about it. I'm not. When Christina says, hey, I'm like, no, do not start with, hey, you're going to tell me something and she's like, well, when am I supposed to tell you? When is a good time? I'm like, never's a good time. So you might as well just roll the dice whenever, because it's going to stress me out. I don't get I don't get mad. I never get mad at my wife. I'm never mad at my wife, but it will stress me out. It'll stress me out and it'll ruin my day. It'll ruin my day. I'm just like, I don't want to hear this thing that I'm going to have. And it's usually like, hey, on Saturday, remember we have that thing. And I'm like, no, I don't remember we have that thing. And now
don't want to go.
So you don't like being taken off guard, is my point, right?
What are you about to do, Jimmy?
I'm just trying to get to the bottom.
No, you're not. You're about to tell me something that's going to displease me. What is it?
No, I'm really not. I'm really not this time.
Are you about to enter a read along and have a discussion about great coats? And
I'm interviewing KJ Parker on my shit. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not, because he doesn't have a computer.
I'm flying there. No, I was just thinking, because that's probably one of the reasons why the phone call drives you crazy, is because it's literally interrupting you, and you're like, what is this not accounted for variable that?
Yes, and anyone, Philip may be able to back me up, but any teachers out there, lecturing is an art. All right, like standing up there and reading PowerPoint slides is stupid.
I agree.
Like lecturing is a skill, and it interrupts forward momentum. Like if I am in the zone, and I don't like, it's different if I'm lecturing about grammar or whatever. But when I'm like lecturing about history or mythology or something that has a continuous narrative, being interrupted by this stupid phone breaks the flow of the narrative. And sometimes it's hard to find the thread again and get like the momentum again. And it really, really irritates me. It irritates me. Why am I yelling? There's no reason to yell. It literally, you're right there. Like, and you're not even disagreeing with me. So
I totally get it. When I demo I actually love demoing. Like if I've worked on a feature or the team has, I love being the person to demo. And there's nothing worse. It doesn't happen in this job. In my last job, it would happen when people interrupt the demo to ask a question instead of waiting to the end. It literally like throws the whole vibe off, because I think of it as like presenting a story. You have to like present in a way that is going to keep their attention, and they're also going to hopefully retain whatever you're doing, and you're showing your worth. So I absolutely despise when people interrupt me in the middle of that. So, and I do think lecturing is an art, and I think anyone could probably agree to that. It's at the very least a skill, like a very important skill to have as a teacher, because there's teachers that I remember their classes vividly and loved the way they presented, and then teachers that read PowerPoints that I couldn't stay awake for,
First of all, Philip, gross. No, it's not. And teacher Jay,
well, I don't understand this.
Coitus interruptus is when you are interrupted mid-sexual intercourse.
Philip.
That's what I'm saying.
This is Philly Fresh Chase over here trying to, dude. Philip's
in his urban era.
His One Piece is changing that, man. Shonen. It's shonen, dude. That's
you're right. It is the freaking shonen. Teacher Jay, you're absolutely correct. Like I tell this, and I tell the story at the beginning of every year to my students, where I'll be lecturing and people have their hand up, and I'll be like, yes, this kid has a question, insightful, wants to know more about this awesome thing I'm talking about. And it's always, and I tell them, I'm like, you're always going to ask me to use the bathroom, and I want y'all to know that I die a little bit inside. So when I keel over, it's your fault. If I ever don't show up, it's partly your fault that I died, because you kill me a little bit every time I think that you have a question because you're interested, and you got to go to the freaking bathroom. Hold it.
I really want to be able to call you during your classes. Just
okay. So when my wife calls me, I'll answer it, and that's fine. And frequently I'll call my wife or Finn or my dad because I've told a story about them, and I call them for confirmation because the kids often don't believe me. And that's always a big win. But usually my phone rings a couple times a day, my cell phone, not my stupid desk phone. My cell phone's fine. Like my cell phone's fine. It's my stupid desk phone. But my cell phone and my ringer for my cell phone is Persona 5. So it's
I know.
Get up there.
I've heard it a million times.
Yeah. So it's always good. And also Finn's text tone is Genus from Tales of Symphonia going, it's pancake time. So I'll be lecturing, and Finn, who doesn't work during the day, will text me and he'll go, it's pancake time. And I'll just, without missing a beat, I'll go, yeah, it is. And I'll just keep talking because it hits. Or Crispino will text me and it's like a Steins Gate noise or something like that. But anyway, my blood pressure is actually pretty good through the pages with D. You would think it wouldn't be, but my blood pressure is decent.
Yeah, for someone who doesn't do a lick of physical fitness, you're actually in pretty good shape.
I know. I need to do more physical fitness, but
or just any.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like, I'm so tired when I get home. Like, I don't want to do anything.
I need to. You probably burn calories while you're teaching. I could see it.
I definitely do, because I stand up the whole time.
Yeah,
Stand up the whole time.
and you're very animated.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta take the health stuff serious. I had a colonoscopy, which I didn't mention. I don't think I mentioned on Chatting with Nuts, but that's why I had to postpone Chatting with Nuts, and I was a little worried, just because the doctor seemed to also be worried. But it turns out I don't have colon cancer, so that's a plus. But I think I have hemochromatosis. Yeah, hemochromatosis, which is essentially too much iron in your blood. So
So now you're Bruce Bolton.
I'm going to be Bruce Bolton. They're going to do some bloodletting.
How are they doing that? Are they going to put leeches on you?
Well, I don't. So I got to get a bunch of tests, like, to make sure 100% that that's what's going on. But it seems like that's most likely what's going on. So apparently there's like a oral thing I can take for it, but you do have to like donate blood or do some sort of blood thing where they basically like take your blood out, filter out the iron, and then put it back in. And then eventually, after a while, like, you're okay. But it actually worsens depression or can cause depression. I think I don't expect my depression to go away. I just, it's been really bad the last year or so. And it also can worsen like rheumatoid arthritis and things like that. Just fatigue in general. That random Death Note reference.
Someone called me L from Death Note, so I'm.
Oh well, you definitely are.
Yeah,
Yes,
keep
David.
going. I'm just giving what fans want.
I've been pumping too much iron. I was actually going to open up the
On
show.
your blood.
I am the only booktuber who pumped so much iron that he got hemochromatosis.
Yeah, it's Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park. It's in your blood.
I mean, I'm kind of excited because if this is one of the reasons why, like, I've really felt like I haven't been able to get back into like good cardio shape and jiu-jitsu, and like I just figured it's because I'm getting old, but like physically there's like a wall there, and I'm like, I don't understand what it is. And apparently hemochromatosis can actually affect your lungs, heart, and basically all your organs, but it can actually affect your lung capacity. And I'm like, dude, if I get this iron filtered out and I feel like I did when I was 28, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm going to be the most if I'm back, oh, I'm doing every review shirtless. Just straight suspenders, just germ suspenders. That's it.
That's what the algorithm wants.
And I also, by the way, in some actual fantasy sci-fi related news, I just got back from Arrakis. I just got back from Dune 2. I did that today. I really loved it. I don't think it's perfect, and I don't know if I liked part one more or not. I'm trying to balance that out. And I was kind of saying this in my Discord. It's like part one of Dune, we had no idea what to expect production wise. Like, we all thought it was going to be pretty good because, you know, the people behind it were awesome, but like, like, you just didn't know. You're like, and then like as you're going through, you're like, holy cow, like, this is incredible. And then we're Dune 2. I'm like, okay, this is going to be at the very least good, probably. But they changed some stuff. I'm okay with most of the changes. You know, I would hear arguments either way. But there was just a couple things that I didn't love. I didn't hate anything in the movie. And I have to say, there were 2 times in the movie where I saw an IMAX. I literally felt like I was in Arrakis, and I like looked over at Kelsey and I was like, this is incredible. Like, I can't believe I'm in. Do you remember Jurassic Park in theaters? Did you see Jurassic Park in theaters?
I saw Jurassic Park in theaters in 1995.
Bro, that's one of my first memories as a kid, is seeing it. And I remember the walking T-Rex. Boom, boom,
yes.
Boom, boom. And I was like, I remember like looking at my, like, you know, just looking at, oh my God, you know, and that is something that Dune is able to do. And that's something that like you only get at the cinema. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, man, this is, oh my God, I can't believe this exists. So I had a great time, honestly. Had a really good crowd too. They didn't talk the entire time. When I went to Oppenheimer, had some chatty Cathys in the back. It was super annoying. With Dune, I feel like everyone there was super nerdy, so I didn't have to worry about it. There was a guy next to Kelsey I thought was asleep, honestly. But you know, I don't know how you could sleep through that because the sound was just absurdly loud. But yeah, I loved it. I don't think you didn't watch Dune Part 1. I don't think that's probably your thing, right?
I've never read Dune, so I have not seen Dune.
I don't know how you would feel about it.
I mean,
I don't know.
I probably wouldn't like it because it's popular.
Yeah, it is weird. Obviously, it's one of the most popular sci-fi of all time, but I feel like it is so much more popular now. Which, duh, but like it's weird to think about Dune 5 years ago, right?
Yeah. Oh
To
yeah,
Dune,
yeah, for sure.
like the fact that like maybe my in-laws know what Dune is very strange to me.
Yeah.
Very, very strange.
My issue with I mean, like I don't like IMAX. I wouldn't see it in IMAX. I hate
You don't like
IMAX.
IMAX?
No,
Why?
because I can't see everything and it's too loud. And I like no, I don't like IMAX. I've seen one IMAX movie and I never went back.
How close did you sit?
I mean, in the middle where I always sit.
All right.
I don't
Really?
like.
You
I don't.
didn't like IMAX?
No, in fact, I get good seats though when there's an IMAX and a non-IMAX because everyone wants to see the IMAX ones. I just go to the non-IMAX one, get the good seats.
And it's also cheaper. You know
It's
what?
too loud.
That's
It's
fair.
too loud. It's too loud. It's too loud. I can't do it. It's too loud.
Kelsey thought that I chose too close of seats because I was in row E, which a lot of people
Oh,
online are like, that's decent. It's like one row up from the railing.
yeah.
And I didn't think so. I thought it was awesome. But she's like, we probably should have sat further back. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in it.
Most of my friends like IMAX and stuff. I haven't seen a movie in the theaters since Spider-Man, whichever one the most recent one was. The Far From Home, Homecoming, No Way Home, whatever the one with the 3 Peter Parkers. That's a spoiler, by the way. Who cares?
I don't even know anything about Spider-Man, and I already knew that. So
Yeah, I know.
don't think it's a spoiler.
So yeah, that's the last movie I saw in the theaters. So whenever that came out,
It wasn't that long ago, though.
I mean, it was at least 2 years, right?
Yeah, I guess maybe for someone like me who doesn't go to the movies that often, it doesn't feel like that long ago.
Yeah, I don't go to the movies ever anymore.
Well, there's another adaptation I wanted to ask you about. I knew you wouldn't probably give two hoots about Dune, but
I was going to segue into this. We're talking
the
about Shogun.
Shogun adaptation. I don't know anything about it. I'm never going to read the book, and I want it. Is it good?
Yes.
Really?
And you follow, and you do not need to read the book. You would like it.
Really? Okay. Yeah. This is because I know that you were very worried about it, and I think that's fair.
And Joanna can because I've been watching it in my Discord. So we watched it. I didn't realize there were 2 out. So Monday we watched, Tuesday we watched the first episode, and then I was like, oh, there's another one out. Hey guys, because I was just going to watch the first episode in the Discord, but it was so fun watching with other people, and it was so good that I was like, hey, y'all want to just watch this whole show together? So we watched the next one the next night, and we're just going to watch them all every Tuesday.
So how's it work? Is everybody mute? Like no one's talking, right?
No one's talking. We're all muted. We have the chat to the side so we can type, but no one talks. I have it, streaming the Discord, and we're all just muted and stuff. But it is phenomenal. It is like first of all, like the set and the set and the visuals are gorgeous and the music's gorgeous, but the casting director like needs to win an Oscar or an Emmy because
Really?
Like the actors are so good. The acting is so good. Like it is. You can 100% watch it without having read the book. Pete watched the first episode with us. Wasn't able to watch the second one because he had something. But Pete hadn't read the book and was able to follow it easily. So I think you should read. I mean, if you're asking throughout the pages, you should. I think everybody should read it because it's one of my favorite books ever. But it is long and it is old, and I understand why people DNF it. All of that is removed for the show. So watching the show is like thus far an excellent way to experience it.
So what's going on with the show? It says mini series. Is that really they just doing one season? 10 episodes and they're done. Oh, yep. I love that. I love that so much. It has a 9.3 on IMDb with 9,000 ratings.
That's because it's phenomenal. And I don't know who those people who didn't give it 5 stars are. They're nitpickers, guaranteed. It is tremendous. They get through the entire part 1 of the book in the first episode, which is an hour and 15 minutes. And the part 1 of the book's like 200 and something pages.
Yeah, for me, it's just the length of Shogun and not being super interested in that subject matter makes me a little apprehensive. I think I could get into
watch the show and watch those freaking samurai. Like everyone likes samurai. Like, you don't have to like love samurai, but just it's good. It's good. It's also it's I'm not gonna say it. It is there's a lot of political intrigue though, and they're focusing on it, which was focused less on in the old miniseries of Richard Chamberlain.
Yeah.
So it is we do not, Kev. They don't talk about it. They do not talk about the endowment. They skip that entire scene.
Yeah,
It's
Kev
just
wanted to know, do we find out how well endowed Blackthorn is or
no,
no?
we don't. We don't. That part's gone. But it is like there's like great political intrigue. It's really good. It is really and it's because it's about the characters. It's not necessarily about the events. It's about the characters, and it's really good. It's really good.
These screenshots I'm looking at here look really nice, and that's one thing I did see. The only thing I've seen about this show is someone said that whoever did the lighting for Shogun was like, hey, what if everyone could see everything? Wouldn't that be crazy? Because like every show is so dark now. Yes. Like every show.
Yes, exactly. What if you can freaking thank you. It's a really good show. I have enjoyed it tremendously.
That's awesome, man.
So I strongly recommend, especially since it's only 10 episodes, then you don't have to read the book because you're not gonna miss anything. Like you miss some of the finer points. Like there's one bad guy, like a bad character that we kind of like in the first 2 episodes because we don't get like all of his inner scheming and stuff, like what a like little snot he is.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that he's not one of the good guys, but he's much more endearing in the show than he is in the book. In the book, you freaking hate him by this point because we've been in his brain the whole time. Here, he looks like a freaking Japanese Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's hilarious. So good.
Yeah, it's always hard, like with books that are so centered around characters and knowing what they're thinking. Like whenever that gets put on screen, it's so easy to fumble that. That's why, like, when people tell me like I want a first law show, I'm like, I don't know if I do.
Yeah,
it's like best part about the books is honestly the inner monologues, because a lot of times they're just battling with themselves. Like Klotka's battling internally with himself. Logan definitely is. And then as this trilogy goes on, you know, they change a little bit, but a lot of it is more the fight between staying the same or changing in their head. So that's cool that they were able to hit it. And honestly, it's just nice to hear an adaptation get some favorable praise.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Like, that's why I was worried, because all these adaptations are garbage.
Yeah, I haven't heard great things about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but like I also know that the internet, especially when it comes to live action adaptations of animation, like just want to, you know, generally hate it. I'm not saying that they're not right, but I don't really have a horse in the race. Have you watched Avatar?
Okay. So many people have told me throughout my life that, first of all, Avatar was after my time. Like, so I was not watching Nickelodeon stuff on Nickelodeon when it aired on Nickelodeon. But many people have told me how good it is. And I have tried 3 separate times to watch Avatar. The farthest I have ever made it was the most recent time. I made it to episode 7, where he's in some stupid wind temple. And I'm like, this is fine. And I do understand that it gets better. Like, I do understand that, like, I believe people when they say it. It's not that I don't believe them. It's just, I just could never muster up the wherewithal to watch past that. Cause I'm like, this is fine. It's fine, but I'm busy trying to catch up on One Piece, which I'm 200, you know, or I'm at that point, like 500 episodes behind or whatever. And it's just not something I ever got into. But I do understand why people like it. Like, that's not one of the things that I'm, you know, mad at people for liking it. But, you know,
yeah, it seems like it's been one of the most successful animation shows in America.
Yes, certainly for American animation, for sure.
Yeah, I think one day I'll actually sit down and watch. I'm kind of like you, actually. I just was like, I'm not actually. Patricia says it's definitely a bit of the ramp, and I just didn't feel like going up a ramp at the time. So I would like to see it. But I've heard that the show, not just because of the source material, but I've actually heard that even like the special effects stuff is like a bit. B says the second they said we have decided to take out the main thing that makes this character arc good.
Oh, that's annoying.
It was
that's
annoying. Yeah,
that's annoying. That's annoying.
So
hey, we're gonna have Marine Ford, but none of the resolution of it.
Yeah, that would be horrible. By the way, Marine Ford is incredible. Absolutely.
I agree with you. I agree. I sure wish we could talk about it right now, but we can't.
Slammer. My God, Alan.
It's my favorite arc, Jimmy. I can make
It's
people
one of
mad.
my favorite story beats of all time,
Look,
actually.
it's downhill from here. Like, not not that everything is terrible after this, but nothing has even come close to Marineford for me since Marineford. So
I just absolutely love the fact that you embrace that with your whole chest, and you're caught up. You're not someone that fell off or whatever. You're just like, hey, it's never as good.
I mean, there are moments like parts of Dressrosa I love, parts of Wano I love. Nothing about Whole Cake Island do I love, but Whole Cake Island's fine. Fishman Island is the worst arc in the entire show, unless you're Murphy, who was wrong about it. But like Marineford, like I don't know how I don't even understand the argument that anything's better than Marineford. Like okay, so I'm sorry. Where is the epicness in any of these other arcs? Oh, they're not. Oh, we're on fish. We're dealing with freaking great value brand Arlong Park. I'm sorry. No, we watched that like way like 600 episodes ago. So
yeah,
Fishman Island.
I think that a lot of series suffer from this, and I do think people can find things that they can get attached to. Like me and you talked about like A Storm of Swords, and then the beginning of kind of the second era of A Song of Ice and Fire, how it slows down because it has to, right? And sometimes stories can get back there and sometimes stories can't. I don't think it dooms like a whole series. For me, the Bone Hunters and Malazan, like for me was like, wow. And I don't know if anything ever got back to that level for me.
I agree. Completely agree. Bone Hunters is the Marineford of Malazan.
I love the other books. I really do, like the ones that come after it. But like when I think of the Apex, I still think of the Bone Hunters, So it's not, I don't think it's an indictment of the series that maybe if One Piece doesn't come back, but you're just got to be realistic about these things, as Nine Fingers would say. Also, Gavin wants you to do a live show with Murphy to discuss Fishman Island. Pretty please.
I'm assuming we are. Murphy and I have argued about this already. And I understand what she's saying, and I think it's dumb. I'm like, okay, okay. I get what you're saying, but I don't know how that's better than anything else that has come before or after. So
it's a tough mountain to climb. For me, I mean, people feel this way about Berserk as well, but I actually do like things after the eclipse. But most people stop after the eclipse because they're just like, you're never going to top this. So like, whatever. But for me, there were other heights. So I'm kind of in the unpopular opinion in the Berserk fandom with that. Philip says, for me, the Cripple God is the perfect ending. I don't think the perfect ending means the highest point, though, for me. But I'm also not someone who cares that much. Like, you can have a perfect ending, and I can still think that the most epic peak was somewhere else in the series.
Sure.
Like, sometimes, actually, I'm a pretty big fan of quiet endings. I know that sounds weird, but like, I really like a good falling action at the end of a book or a series.
Speaking of falling action, really good falling action at the end of the book. Hey, Kev, if you're still here, what about book 3 of the Greatcoats? What a good falling action, quiet ending.
Listen, Kev, I'm telling you, Kev has got me so interested in reading Greatcoats. He has done such a better job than you. How
good Greatcoats was for, I don't know, 3 years.
It was one of those things where your mouth was moving, but you weren't saying anything. You know what I mean?
You know what? Butt Dylan.
Yeah, wait. We'll get back to Butt Dylan, but I feel like the only thing I've ever known about Greatcoats, ever, is that there's a weird scene in book 1 people hate.
Yes.
And that it's swashbuckling. And I've never heard anything else really about it. But Kev has got like half my Discord reading this thing. And
I literally have 4 videos and an interview with the author talking about Greatcoats.
Let me ask you this: Malevolent 7 or Greatcoats? Where do you start?
Greatcoats, 100%. 100%. Like it's not even a discussion. Like I love De Castell's writing and his writing style. It's very, I mean, it's obvious when he's writing a book, but Greatcoats. Like I'm gonna reread Greatcoats because of how good it is. I love Greatcoats. Evie gave the first one 1 star because she's unreasonable.
Oh, well, Kev actually has a good distinction. He says Alan couldn't properly sell Greatcoats because he didn't have knowledge to compare it to Lies of Lachlan Moore and First Law because he won't read those. Because Alan, it is true. You have to compare everything to an existing series.
Yeah,
You
I
have
mean, you're right. I'm violating booktube lore by not doing that.
well,
Why
no,
do I
the
why do
book
I need to
industry
compare it to
as a
that?
whole, actually.
Why do I need to compare it to those to be able to sell it?
That's how blurbs work. You know, a lot of people complain about that being on books, but the fact of the matter is we keep buying.
I don't. Like when someone's like, "Hey, it's like this," I'm like, I don't believe you. It's the first thing I say. It's like I don't believe that it's like this.
You've been
And
very
no one's ever
patient.
come up to me and been like, "Hey, this book is really similar to KJ Parker." One, because no one else wants to write that book because they want to be successful authors, and two, no one else has read KJ Parker to know what to compare it to.
Yeah, KJ Parker's kind of an anomaly in a lot of ways. By the way, I know that you had said this before, but the fact that he writes comedy, like humorous stuff, to me is very strange.
It is super weird. I haven't
It's
read any of
very
his
weird.
novel books yet.
I mean, The Folding Knife did have moments that were kind of funny. But
Yeah, no. I think there's humor in his books, but like he has books that are just funny. I
yeah,
guess.
that to me is a little weird. I don't know if I'm
I
so
have a feeling when I read one, it's going to be like Discworld with a worse attitude. So that's what I'm expecting.
And Pratchett had a pretty bad attitude, right?
No, Pratchett had a great attitude. He just got mad
I
sometimes.
say, wasn't he really mean though?
Pratchett?
Yeah, I thought his
IRL, he was one of the nicest people anybody have ever met. That's what everybody says. Anybody
Really?
ever met? Yeah. He would wait for hours signing autographs and crap. Yeah.
I thought he kicked dogs.
No.
I thought I remember people saying that the autobiography or the biography about him was like kind of sad because it seemed like he was
Okay. No, okay. So he could be mean to he could 100% that man had to be like on the spectrum. Okay. So he was very particular and he wouldn't kick dogs, but yeah, he would holler at like his assistant and stuff. But no one took it personally. But yeah, he would holler at them. But only when like something wasn't getting done right or whatever. Like he was just really, really
so only when he was right.
I mean,
sounds like somebody I know.
Look, like Jimmy, if I wasn't right so often and have people like ignore me, it'd be fine. I have to tell Christina all the time. I'm like, Christina, I just like, if only I could just not be like, do you know how hard it is being right all the time? Like it's so hard. And I'm not talking, Christina and I don't argue and I have no problem when like, oh, sorry. Like sometimes we get an argument about something. I'm like, this is a dumb argument. I apologize. And we can move on. But like about like just stuff. And then I have to say stuff. I'm like, hey, Grey Coast is good. And then, Kev reads this like, hey, Grey Coast is good. I'm like, I know, I told you all that. But the problem is because I am right so often, I was cursed by the gods to not be believed, like a modern day Cassandra. So the things that I say are true and correct and right. But just like you, if you were not weakened by the hemochromatosis, you would be too powerful as a physical specimen. If I was believed all the time and not cursed to be ignored, I would be too powerful of an influential. I would be too influential, and so I must be weakened in order to keep like balance in the world, because otherwise we would be too strong.
I kind of get that. Like I couldn't get blessed with everything, you got to have
like everyone can't have everything. But now if you and I combined, like with my influence and your physical prowess, like we would literally rule the world.
You could feel it at ICFA. Like when we were walking around together in Orlando, you could feel people moving.
I know, like there were waves coming off us. People were parting, like they were parting in order to let us pass and like trying to sniff our air.
And they were like, there they go.
I know. Philip, remember when Philip asked for both of our autographs?
Yeah, and he started weeping.
I know. When we said no. I know.
Philip's always crying.
I know. I know.
Stop. The Wonder Twins. Yes. We're absolutely the Wonder Twins. Do you think you might be a proto-fascist?
You're right. I like things that I like books that have empire in the title. So yes, I must be a modern day imperialist.
Do you think you gravitated towards fantasy to do wish fulfillment for having complete rule over people?
Yes, I read fantasy because I am so powerless in my real life that I read about being able to crush my enemies and ruling over people, because the only way I can be happy is if everyone is doing my bidding 100% of the time. I don't want any dissenting opinions. I don't want to hear people's like dumb crap. I need people to bring me tribute, and I also need to enforce my tribute laws on surrounding nations. So,
Maybe it's a good thing you're not in shape.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
You'd probably be abusive.
I mean, yes, I would harm everyone and force them into listening to me talk about that. That's really the reason I teach. The only reason I teach is because I have literally, as prisoners, 30 children who have to listen to what I like, have to listen and feign interest in what I'm saying. And it is the only time I can get 30 people to feign interest in what I'm saying for 47 minutes at a time. So that's really the reason.
Well, some people are picking up what you're putting down, because
I mean,
Christian says that Fishman Island has deadlocked him.
that's because it is a snooze fest. It is what we call in the business better than a Serta mattress. So
David Sloan said God definitely took some of Jimmy's frontal lobe and moved it to his trap. Oh my God.
Look, T. Baggins has it right. Alan, full of sound and fury, signifying immutable correctness. I know, Kev, we will put some of Jimmy's air in a mason jar and send it to you.
Yeah, that'll be on the Patreon, so make sure you guys subscribe.
Oh, Murphy missed the entire time of me dropping truth bombs on Fishman Island.
Also, what flavor of ice cream are you eating, Murphy? I would like to know. Joseph said, I just dropped into this. What is happening? We're not sure. Sniff our air is sus. What a transition.
What were we even talking about before we transitioned to this? Oh my God.
Johnny Kalani says he's crying because you keep interrupting his sex lectures.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Kelhus and Nair. I don't know about that.
I don't know who those are either. And look,
we don't want to be them.
I'm usually good at picking up the references, but not this time.
That's a R. Scott Baker reference, so you can already assume that it's diabolical.
Is that unwashed anuses?
Yeah.
Are those two people with unwashed anuses?
Oh, more than you know. More than you know.
That's yucky.
The Bee's Knee says the clip this, and when Alan hits 100K, we cancel him.
Oh no. As we discussed at the beginning, I will never hit 100K because there aren't 100,000 people in the planet who could listen to me talk for that long without being upset by just the fact that I raised my tone and like got excited about something or told them that something they like sucks.
Also, Alan would get sick of being mainstream after a while. There's 100% likelihood that Alan would not know what to do if he hit 100. Whenever our episode started getting a ton of views, you were like, "What? Why? What are they doing?"
I said, "Why would 175,000 people watch this? Like, how is there that many people who want to watch and listen to us talk? Other than the fact that we are delights and we are filled. We are veritable fonts of wisdom and learning, and that's why."
Reading with Rebecca Nicole says there are 194 people willingly listen to Alan right now.
They are willing to listen to Jimmy, and I am in proximity. They are hearing me unwillingly.
I would like to think I'm the A side of this equation.
You definitely are. I'm not even the B side. I'm like the secret track that you have to keep listening to long after it's over, like for 5 minutes before they play, like before it plays on your cassette tape. That's what I am, the secret track.
People are not so sure that your dictator rant was actually all fiction. There's a possibility that you might mean this. Oh my God. Whoa. Key says there is a great novel called The Iron Dream about Hitler becoming a fantasy writer instead of a soldier and spreads his weird views that way. It was written as a critique of fascist views in fantasy. That actually
sounds interesting. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, that does actually kind of sound interesting. It could, like, that idea could go one of two ways. It could be just complete slop, or it could be awesome.
Who's it by? Norman Spinrad? Who's it by?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm
but
looking up, but
It
maybe
has
it's
to be. There can only be one, right? There's only got to be one of these.
genetic warfare and the invasion of Europe by Jimmy. I need you to look this book up and just look at the cover, my dude. Like,
All
I
right.
need you to just go to Goodreads.
The Iron Dream.
Just click on the first thing that pops up and look at that cover, Jimmy.
All right, here we go. By Norman Spinrad, which is a fantastic name. Oh my God.
You have got to share your screen, Jimmy. People must see.
All right, this is the cover of this book. Let me see if I can share this tab. Where's the tab at? Not hemochromatosis. Here. What is this? Why? Here, let me move the comment. Why is he on a motorcycle with
space
swastika eyes?
In space.
Disturbingly fascinating. I mean, I might buy this, but this is also one of those books that I don't know if I really want that on my shelf.
You definitely want it on your shelf. So
I had somebody come over last 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. I had somebody come over recently, and they were checking out my books, and I have a Quan Mills book, which is This Hoe's Got Roaches in Her Crib, and he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh no."
Why? Like what? What is that? And second, why does that hoe have roaches in her crib? And by crib, is crib house or like an actual bed that you put babies in?
No, like a house, like an apartment. And it's morbid curiosity. So this author called Quan Mills, and he writes like urban romance, but he is taking like an absurdist stance where he's trying to critique the urban romance genre. And it's wildly offensive. Like it is. I just wanted to know what all the commotion was about.
You can literally just not know that. You can go your whole life not knowing what the commotions are about the hoe having roaches in her crib.
I had to. I'm sorry.
How is that something that like? How is that one of your like life's longing to know why that hoe has roaches in her crib?
Listen, Alan, I suffer from depression. Okay,
no,
and sometimes I gotta find out why this hoe has roaches in her crib. And this dude sees it and he goes, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, don't open it." Please don't open. He opened it and he starts reading aloud, and everyone's just looking at me like, "Nice." And I'm like, I don't know why this is on my shelves.
I love it.
It's rough.
I love it.
It's rough out there. But yeah, Iron Dream. It sounds like something that Alan would love.
And no, it is not. Oh yeah, it's a proto-fascist. I forgot. Amanda, I agree. There should be. I don't know why. You know those lo-fi beat channels that you study for? Why is there not a lo-fi channel of my rants? Like seriously, you could make that into freaking morning drive time smooth beats radio.
I feel like it is catharsis. We live vicariously through your rants. Does describe this because I wish I had the energy to have the passion you have. Like you really say it with your chest, and every time I get worked up to that point, I just lose the passion, you know?
And Urza, you're right. I'm the most humble. Like it must be hard to be around such humility.
Apparently a lot of people have heard of the Iron Dream, and I'm just dumb. Also, Dub says TBR busted. Amazing cover. Not the bike.
That cover is
hashtag graphic design is my passion. It's actually really funny.
Oh my gosh, that is a trip.
Who I think it was Felix Ortiz. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like every time someone shows art, it's Felix Ortiz. 100% of the time.
He has a monopoly. Every book is illustrated by Felix Ortiz and narrated by Michael Kramer and Kate somebody. Redding? Is that right?
Yes, Kate Redding or Michael Kramer. Every time. Every single time.
Well, guess what? My book's going to be narrated by Cosmo Kramer.
Wait, Cosmo Kramer from Seinfeld?
Yes.
He got canceled. I don't think you can have him do your audiobook.
It's going to be a book about Hitler, so it's a match made in heaven.
Well, I was going to say, he actually might like that. Murphy says, so when are we reading it together? Pencil it in for May, I would say.
I'm not reading that.
Can't be worse than Chuck Dingle. I promise you it is. For the Rizzler, Old Thought next door, next up. That is also another Quan Mills book. Is
that a real book?
Yeah, Alan, he writes the most ridiculous things that you've ever
Why
seen.
are you reading such trash?
Well, I didn't read that. I read one. Okay, I read one, and
You own the other one?
no. I did get one of them for my friend for Christmas, but I can't say the name of it on stream because it'll get me demonetized.
Hilarious.
And I don't think you would find it amusing either. So he's a self-pub author. You know, I like to support self-pub, man. Alan's rant should be made into ASMR videos. That's literally impossible for him to do that.
Who would listen to those?
Hey, I'll tell you what, your audiobook narration, I'm so impressed with you when you send me the clips of it. I'm so impressed that you are able to dial it in and maybe a bit of an ASMR vibe. I know you're
dial it in. Oh, the narration stuff?
Yeah, the narration. Like you're.
Does it feel like I'm screaming at you? Like it
normally I forget it's you. I literally forget that it's Alan doing the audiobook. And I think that's a good thing, dude. Also, your voices are incredible.
Thank you. I am hard at work. I've been doing it. So this is part of the reason why we haven't talked. And the other part is that like I made videos, and because I get up at 5 and I'm at school by 6 because I have like that. I don't do work at home for school. So I need to prepare for the day. And then I'm at school. The earliest I get home is 4. And I have been trying to go in my closet and record until Christina gets home, which is like 6:30. So it's finally like 6:30 that I stopped working, and I'm freaking tired. I don't want to freaking record a video. I don't even want to read. I literally want to sit there and I want to play Persona, and I just want to run around and, you know, walk Koromaru-sama, who is a little dog that I get to do. I'm just tired. Like I'm so freaking tired.
Yeah, and it's a lot of effort.
I'm not tired of talking here, but I'm tired of talking normally.
I'm going to break from this. So Birdie in the Books says, just a heads up that Mills author is a white guy pretending to be someone else. So from what I did some research on this, because the book, in my opinion, is like super offensive. And I was like, there's something not right here. From what I understand about Quan Mills, and by the way, I don't actually like any of his books. They're just absurd. From what I understand, that was the accusation that TikTok put on him, but he actually ended up going live, and he is a black male. That's what I saw in my research. The rumor was that it was a white author, which would be unbelievably problematic for what the books are about. I still think they're super duper. I think they're full of garbage, to be honest. But this is something I had heard and I looked into.
To just like pivot for just a second about something that like when you said like you don't think I'd like the title or whatever of that other book. Here's something like, guys, y'all settle in because I'm about to hashtag Walker Life lesson you something here.
Oh boy.
I keep seeing this, and it's not one person, it's multiple people. Like you know, like when you drop an F-bomb, Jimmy, like you're like, oh sorry, I know you're like cussing. Like I appreciate that, but I mean, I don't care. Like, it's not up to me to control how you talk. Like, you can talk how you want to. You know, I'm gonna be friends with you anyway. You know what I like and what I allow in my classroom is completely different than normal people. But there's a thing on Twitter, and I keep seeing it, and I think it's a bunch of authors who are literally like, they don't like being told what to do, and they don't like people talking bad about them, but they call people who don't like the F-bomb and who don't cuss all the time as if they treat people like me as if like I am stupid or somehow emotionally stunted. They call us children because all adults, if you do not drop F-bombs all the time, you are not an adult. And that is the most like asinine argument. And I can't believe that adult people are doing this, because these are the same, like, you don't want to be like pigeonholed for the things that you do and the way that you think about things. Like saying that someone isn't mature or isn't an adult because they don't want to cuss all the time is ridiculous. Like, how on earth are you better than me because you choose to use words that I won't use? That's ridiculous. It really makes me mad every time I see it, because I don't care how you want to talk. Like, I don't have to like everything you do. But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to go in your video and I'm not going to tell you how much I dislike you, like these people who don't like the way I talk about One Piece. That's what I don't understand. You can do what you want. Ain't nobody stopping you. And guess what? I'm not going to go and tell you that I hate you and I hate the way you talk. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be like, You talk the way you talk. You write a bunch of F-bombs in your book. That's fine. There's a bunch of F-bombs in Greatcoats. Guess what? One of my favorite series. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand it. It's so freaking rude. Sorry.
I think the idea of swearing in general is kind of weird because, like, you know, there are words that don't mean anything to anybody else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it depends on where you are, where you grew up, whatever else, right? So I think where this comes from, and I'm just speaking from my experience, is as someone who does swear, I get times where people question my intelligence because I swear. And I've actually seen this multiple times. I even have a friend, actually. He's not a big fan of when people swear, and says, you know, I just feel like you're not intelligent if you swear a bunch because you don't know any better words. And I think that there's probably a pushback from that. But the more of this silver bullet to kill this entire thing is that it's on Twitter, so it's not really anything. It's not real.
You're right. If it's on Twitter,
yeah, it's just engagement farming.
I just if I didn't keep seeing it, like, I would be like if I didn't keep seeing it, it wouldn't bother me. And the thing is, like, I agreed to do a job for Philip. Philip's character's cuss in his book, especially the one freaking army guy or whatever it is. Like, I'm gonna do the job I was hired to do. Like, I just don't talk like that in my normal everyday speech. I just don't. But it doesn't mean that I'm somehow less developed as a human being. I'm sorry. Like, you're gonna come up and you're like, I know many people who cuss all the time who are nowhere near smarter than me. But I also know people who are very smart and smarter than I am who also cuss. It has nothing to do with anything.
That's right. That's just a stupid way of looking at it, to be honest. So, but I've had it from the other end. So really, I think it says more about the person, rather their stance doesn't actually matter, but more their attitude towards people that they don't understand. Instead of seeking that, they just don't care, which is honestly Twitter kind of in a nutshell. No one seeking to understand what anyone else is actually trying to say. I even hate
on Twitter. I should have just completely ignored it.
I hate to even highlight this because it was on Twitter, but I saw a post of a girl reading at a restaurant bar, and it was like the caption was like, "Pick me energy is way too strong," or something like that. And people in the comments were dumpstering this girl for reading at a bar. And everyone else is like, but if they had their phone, it'd be normal. Like, yeah, that's normal. And I'm like, how, as someone on business trips, whenever I eat at the hotel, there's a bar there, I take my book down there because I'm going to eat my food slowly because I want to sit in my hotel room and I'm going to read. And I'm just like, if they were reading in the Kindle app on their phone, you would have no issue. But because they have a paperback book, it's like everyone takes everything in the least charitable lens possible that someone can do, and they think everything is to make a statement.
It's because
maybe the person just wants to read.
To be pissed off about something. They need to make their lives more difficult by being irritated at somebody.
Yeah, I mean, and that is, again, you know, this is kind of the purpose of social media. Epic Tale says this: social media, everybody has an offensive opinion. Who cares what they think? Judging intelligence on swearing is ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. And we know that, right?
The people that are bad mouthing that girl, you know what they can do? Rewind to the beginning of this video where I said, when you get to your booth, put your thumb down and then sit on it and spin around a couple times. Do it, Potsy.
The first thing I thought of when I saw that was you, because at ICFA, you were coming to hang out and you brought a book with you.
I always bring a book.
I was floored. He had a KJ Parker novella in his hand.
Always.
And I was like, Alan, did you really bring a book here? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, just in case people start talking about something I can't input on, I'll listen with one ear and read with the other.
Alan had a preconceived notion that the conversation was going to be so dull and uninteresting that he needed to bring a book with him when he met me for the first time.
Look, Jimmy, I have been to so many family gatherings where people talk about we're talking about Auburn and UF and FSU, and I'm like, what if I read a book instead? And that's what I do. And for my entire life, my dad's like, put that book away and socialize. So I put the book away, and what do you think happens? I sit there, no one talks to me, and now I'm just bored. So it's not like anybody's including me in anything. I'm just now don't have anything else to do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've ever put out a book mid-conversation, but I kind of want to now. I feel like maybe that's what I should do. Look at this. Oh, wait, hold on. Are you reading Fire and Blood?
I picked it up off my desk and flipped it to the middle, Jimmy. No.
But
But I
why is it on your
should,
desk?
since
Why
you're
is it on
reading
your desk?
greatcoats without even letting me know. What if I just, you know what? I finished Fire and Blood already, and I didn't even tell you. You know who I told? I told real Song of Ice and Fire fans like Bookborn. That's who I talked about instead of you.
Listen, a flight to Florida is not that expensive.
Look, I'm going to see you in like 2 weeks, aren't I?
I surely hope so, but I will take everything you've ever worked for. Hear me.
Basically nothing. You can have my 10,000 subs.
I will absolutely come in there and rip up your lesson plan. I will change the background on your teaching slides.
Hey, plot twist. I don't make lesson plans.
You don't?
No.
Don't you have to show them?
I freaking upload my PowerPoints. I'm like, right here, that's the lesson plan. I'm going to talk at it.
You know, maybe this is your problem. Maybe you need a lesson plan.
You know what? You need a lesson plan. You know, a lesson you plan your face.
Alan, who was the best leader of the Soviet Union?
I don't know if it's the real answer or the meme answer. And no, I'm gonna get freaking clipped and it's gonna spread everywhere. Like, who's unproblematic? Khrushchev? No, Khrushchev's bad.
I think a lot of
Gorbachev. Everyone loves Gorbachev. Okay, fun fact about Nikita Khrushchev. You know, Nikita Khrushchev was like, "We will bury you," and he bangs the shoe on the table like to who did he do it to? Who did he say we will bury you to? Reagan.
I don't know.
I think it was Reagan. And he bangs the shoe on the table. We will bury you. It wasn't spontaneous. He didn't take his shoe off and do it. He brought the shoe with him, like. And that's just sad, Khrushchev. You literally, I bet you practiced it in front of the mirror, Khrushchev. Like an epic moment like that, you can't plan it. It's like giving yourself a nickname. You can't do that. Like it's gotta be natural. No.
I have literally given myself nicknames so many times. I gave myself Booktube Beefcake, the Friday Night Delight.
And how's that worked out for you, Jimmy? Who calls you any of those?
Some people call me the Booktube Beefcake.
Nobody calls you that.
I stopped doing it though. You know what? You want to know why?
Why?
Because I was like, if I keep doing this for like 10 more years, there's a chance I'll become not a beefcake. And then people are going to be like, look at him. Look how far he's fallen.
No, they're going to be like, look at his ironic Booktube name. They'll think you did it.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you. Some people still recognize the Booktube Beefcake. You don't really have a Booktube nickname, do you?
I've never had nicknames growing up. Like never. So my name's Alan. My name's James Allen. So I'm fortunate in that there's not really anything they can do. The worst I've gotten. So when I was in elementary school, there's this one skinny kid, there's one short skinny kid, and the other tall fat kid. And like it was literally like a cartoon. They were just bullies. But they always there would be alien. I'm like, oh no, alien. Gasp. My self-esteem is destroyed. And then, when I got into high school and stuff, people would call me Jimmy Walker, even though not one of them had ever seen an episode of Good Times. But, he's the guy who's like, Dynamite from Good Times. And I'm like, no one in this room even understands this reference except me. And so that's really it. I have two people in the world that call me Al.
Oh, I like that.
No, we're not going to call me Al. That's not something that I do. There are two people that call me Al, and they've always called me Al, and that's why it's fine. And then my oldest friend, Lisa, she calls me Owl Land. OWLAND. Owl. No, OWLLAND. And I don't know how we got there. It's obviously a bastardization of Alan, but I don't know how we got to Owl Land. But she called me Owl Land. Do not call me Al. I think I don't own a mechanic garage.
You could sell female footwear though, like Al Bundy.
No. The Al thing, all anyone ever does is the Paul Simon song, which I like, but it's like Man walks down the street. It's a street in a strange world. Maybe it's a third world. Maybe it's his first time around. Doesn't speak the language. Owns no currency. He is a foreign man. He is surrounded by the sound. Angels in the marketplace, spinning in infinity. He says, amen, hallelujah. If you be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal. I can call you Betty, and Betty, when you call me, you can call you can call me out.
What about if we called you all up in them cheeks, Alan?
Ain't nobody gonna call me all up in them cheeks, Alan Jimmy.
AP says, but will Jimmy be your bodyguard and he can call you Al?
No.
I think it should. By the way,
no, because no. And here's okay. So my baby's about to be born, right? Like this month. We're in the birth month. And people keep
that's
being
crazy.
Like, I know, and people keep saying, they're like, wouldn't it be funny if he was born on the Ides of March? And I say, no, I hate it. No, it's not. No, it wouldn't be. Jimmy, the 15th of March is my least favorite day every single year. Because
Why?
First of all, because all of a sudden on the 15th of March, it is as if everyone I have ever met remembers I exist. And I get so many texts being like, oh, be careful today, Alan, as if because I teach Latin, I'm going to get murdered on the Ides of March.
I wish.
I know, right? And then I get sent the exact same stale memes every single year. So help me. If I see one more picture of Caesar dressing with a knife stuck through it, I'll lose my mind. I've seen it. And it's the same people sending me the same memes every year. I have seen them all. You cannot find one I haven't seen. Oh my God, I don't want to hear about Caesar. Don't send me a picture of Caesar dressing. I don't care. I hate it. Every single year, a notification, bloop, bloop, bloop. I scroll through my feed, nothing but freaking pictures of Caesar dressing with knives in it, or a freaking pencil holder which someone sent me one time, which is awesome. So it's on my desk, but like, I don't need to see a picture of this every year. I know Caesar was killed on the 15th of March. I teach it. I know. I in no way want my child to be born on that day, because then everyone will be like, watch out, and hand him a thing of Caesar dressing. I hate it. I hate it, Jimmy.
Oh, he threw his hat. Listen, everyone, you've heard what Alan wants you to do on the Ides of March.
I do
he
not.
wants you to reach out on his community tab or in his Discord and send him your best Caesar dressing memes. Why would you tell the internet? Do you realize tens of thousands of people watch these episodes?
I regretted it halfway through, but I'd already started. So I might as well get my opinion out instead of having to get them anyway. Guys, Caesar dressing isn't named after Julius Caesar. It's a Mexican guy named Caesar. Like, it's not named after
What's wrong with him being Mexican?
Nothing's wrong with him. What? It's just, I'm saying it's not Julius Caesar. That's not what it's named after. Like, people didn't be like, oh, well, Caesar, well, I guess full name address. No.
It seems kind of racist.
You're racist.
Whoa. Easy. So yeah, your kid's coming this month.
Do not do it, Mitch. Sorry.
I'll call his school phone.
Do not do it.
I might make a short on that day. I might make a YouTube short and encourage everyone that sees it to go wish Alan, old all up in them cheeks, Al, a nice Ides of March.
Don't do it. I'll block you.
Someone said our show could be called Jaywalker, and I actually think that that's pretty good. Fascist, racist, musical prodigy.
That's what they'll put on my tombstone.
Oh my God. So what do you think about being a dad? Like, next in April, you will be a dad. Like, you will no longer not be a dad. You'll be a dad.
I know. Everyone keeps saying, are you excited? I'm saying no. Like, I mean, I think they want me to say yes. No. No, I'm not. Like, who would be excited about that?
Oh my God.
It doesn't mean that it does not mean that I will not love my child. Like, I will, but like excited, is that the right word? Maybe it is.
I think excited is something people feel when their kid's on the way.
Okay, okay, cool. All right. But who is excited to lose a bunch of time, to lose a bunch of sleep, to have to struggle with paying their bills? Like, how can that excite anyone? If it excites people, then they have lost their minds. That's not exciting. The child itself is exciting. That's fine. But like when people are like, are you excited? Like, I can't just think about, oh, my child's coming. That is cool. Like, that part is cool. But I cannot help but think about the absolute existential terror that accompanies it in the fact that I'm already tired. I already don't have any time. And I already can't afford everything in my life. And now I have to. Why do babies got to poop that much?
They just like me, for real. You know, it's just
So yes,
part of
I
life.
am excited. I am excited, but it's
A long-term investment. That's what Mitch said.
That's fine. It's just stressful. It's stressful, and I'm already stressed out a lot. So I'm just stressed, and so I'm not looking forward to being more stressed.
Yeah, I think you're going to be a good dad, dude. I think you're going to do a great job, and I don't think for me, I think if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't necessarily feel excited. I try not to put expectations on anything in my life. Like, I really try hard because I have found myself to be let down a lot of the times. And I'm not saying a child would be let down, but like, just because you have this idea of the expectation of how this thing is supposed to go, and then when it doesn't go the way, it causes a lot of stress. So for me, you know, I think it was just like, well, when it happens, it'll happen, and then we'll do the thing. That is a little bit tougher, I think, because like, you know, there's preparation that you do or whatever. I mean, you don't want to not have like a crib or something, obviously, but just the emotional expectation. Murphy said, I always hated that question too when I was pregnant. Are you excited? Well, there's only one acceptable answer, so I guess I'll say that, but I'm mostly terrified.
Yeah.
And so, Zach says you're going to be the best dad.
I appreciate that, guys. I hope. Well, like, I'm going to read to him on the first night whatever I've got. So if I don't finish Guy Jin real quick, he's going to learn all about how much freaking Angelique and Malcolm burn for each other. So I hope that's appropriate material for the first book I read him. But it's like, we are both nervous and excited. I am more on the I am stressed about the I was poor most of my life because my parents didn't have a ton of money. Like, not poor, like I hate saying poor because I didn't grow up impoverished, but I didn't have a lot of money. And then I didn't have a lot of money in my 20s because of bad decisions that I made. And so I've worked 10 years at the same job to make a decent living, and I have stopped having to worry about, like, I no longer have to, if I want a book or wanted to order like a video game, I just put it in Amazon and I buy it. And I do not have to be concerned that I am taxing our budget by doing that. I just have the money to do that. Now I don't, because one, again, our mortgage went up, which is a huge plot twist because I literally bought a house so that landlords couldn't raise my rent. So that was fun.
Yeah, some people were asking about those. They thought you had a variable rate, but that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about his property, because basically when you buy a house and it's now valued higher, they adjust your taxes and your mortgage can go up hundreds of dollars, because mine did.
And the problem is the people who estimated the tax last year underestimated.
Yes.
So now I'm on the hook for that bill when it ain't even my fault, which is trash. Why doesn't that person pay for it?
Yeah, mine went up like $200 to $300 because
mine went up $250 a month.
My house was sold in 1987 and then in 2022. So it's like, of course it's more, right?
The problem is that I was unaware that this was a possibility. Like, literally, I got
I didn't know either,
so that my rent wouldn't go up. At any rate, so I'm just stressed out because, you know, I've worked at my job 10 years and it's not like I make a salary commensurate with having worked at a place for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like I don't. Also the fact that, and it's not that I don't get paid well. Like, I actually don't have a problem with what I make. I have a problem with, one, how much I have to work. and two, how much it costs to live where I live. Like the cost of living here is too high. We have Panama City has one of the highest discrepancies between average income and cost of living in the country. Because I don't know why it costs so much here, but it does. And I'm being priced out of my city. And so that's really the problem. But yeah, so I'm just stressed out.
Yeah, a lot of variables.
Yeah, and also like I really just need a doctor to like live with us for like 6 months until like
Philly Chase.
I know, until sneezing, like when your eyes are closed for the split second while you're sneezing, the baby can die because you stopped looking at it while your eyes were closed when you're sneezing. Like once it becomes slightly harder to damage them, then I will feel more comfortable. I'm terrified. Like you put it in the crib and everything you own says suffocation hazard. And it's like, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to stay up and like watch it the whole time? How am I supposed to sleep? But I'm paranoid, because everyone has a horror story. No one has anything comforting to say. Everyone's like, oh, well, this person I know, their baby exploded like out of nowhere.
That's ridiculous.
Seriously.
That's so ridiculous. I mean, yes, obviously it is this huge responsibility. Like, I have to keep this person alive now. This is crazy. But just think, billions of people have done this that are way dumber than
I am. I know.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, dude.
I mean, I guess.
I think you're gonna be a good dad, dude. I'm very excited. And if anything, I know that you'll raise them in a way that they will be one of the good ones.
I'm going to raise them to if they don't like someone on the internet, to make sure they go in the comments and let them know.
Are you ever going to put your baby on camera?
Yeah. Anita, actually, some patrons asked me about this when we were talking about after we watched Shogun. Yeah, I understand why people don't want to put their children like on camera. Like, I understand that. I am in no way that person, because I just like even if that was my intention, I would 100% forget, and then what's the point? Like,
just forget this principle.
like I would. It's just like I'm not a super private person. Like, I'm just not. That's why I talk about my mental health and all kinds of problems. Like, when I talk to my students about like their moral failings, I admit, I'm like, and this is what I struggle with the most. When we talk about Socrates, we had a big philosophy lesson. And Socrates, like, 2 wrongs don't make a right or whatever, and don't punish people who have wronged you. I'm like, guys, if I have a moral failing, like, this is my greatest moral failing, in that, no, shut up, Socrates. If they have wronged me, I dream about their ruination, and I plot it every single day. And I should not be so vengeful, but I am vengeful. And so I have no problem, because I'm introspective, and I want to teach my kids, my students, to be introspective also. It's like people that run around thinking they have no flaws. I mean, other than me and you, Jimmy. I mean, what's wrong with that? So
I think I would be one of the people who is probably not jumping to put my kid on screen, but I am I'm a private person in different ways. Like, I'm totally,
like, you don't even like us talking about like the tri-state area in which you live.
Yeah, it's because I've had stalkers before, so it's a very scary thing.
Look, ain't nobody stalking Alan Walker.
Let me tell you. See, AP, have a good night, bud.
Bye, AP.
Also, he says, Alan, all the very best to you and your wife. Also, AP, 2 of our episodes absolutely blew up. I think they're over like 50,000 views.
They're not over 180,000, are they?
No, but he's starting to move into your top 5. In fact, yeah, because let me look. You were the top 5 streams.
Kev, that wouldn't be stalking. You'd be invited. I'd just be like, oh, hey, Kev, let's come in and talk about it.
I try to get Kev to come visit me all the time. He won't do it. Yeah, AP has actually busted into the top 3 episodes. It was you. You were in all 5, and now AP is number 3 and 5. And his episode is about to eclipse your 2nd place episode.
AP knocked me out of 2 of my places?
Yeah. What? He has a 71,000 view episode and a 64,000.
What the flick?
Also, random Jake Bishop 56,000. Like,
What?
who's listening to me and Jake Bishop talk about Dresden?
What the fwick?
What the fwick? I'm
What?
widowy doing the gwitty.
What the fwick? I am widowy
doing the gwitty.
What the fwick? Oh my gosh. What a
That
butt
is true. That is true. Kev does work in a sweatshop. It's kind of messed up.
Oh, true. Okay. I'm gonna tell you about the origin of Butt Dylan.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna
Let's
I'm gonna AFK bio.
Okay.
So Butt Dylan, I recently remembered Butt Dylan again. When I played WoW, me and my guild, we were in the Barons, and you know, Barons chat has its like Barons chat is well known for being trash.
Yes.
We're seeing there, and we're sitting there in Barons chat, and all of a sudden we see someone shout, like, looking for group, wherever we're going, Lich King, Arthas, whatever. And the guy's name is Butt Dylan, Buttdylan, all one word. And it's just like, who would name their character Butt Dylan? And so we saw that, and we're like, what? And then one day we had a Butt Dylan sighting. And he just ran across the screen. We saw him and we screenshotted it and whatever. And I can't remember, like, Butt Dylan we initially made it a rank in the guild, like the lowest rank in the guild. So you got knocked down to Butt Dylan. But I think over time, Butt Dylan became we're like, imagine what Butt Dylan is like. And he became like the Bill Brasky of like SNL, where we we mythologized Butt Dylan. And so I think Butt Dylan is good now. I can't remember. But if I recall, Butt Dylan is like legendary. Like he went from being like the lowest rank in the guild to the highest. Are you trying to look up Butt Dylan?
So he really, I actually am. And like the third result was pornography. So I'm just, I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to just close that out, save the tab for later. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. I can talk about books with these people.
Okay, AFK bio.
AFK bio.
I said that in class one day on accident when I went to the bathroom, and none of the kids knew what I was talking about, and I had to explain it, and it was
it's kind of cringe. Yeah,
it is. It 100% is cringe.
So cringe.
It was an accident. And those girls, every time I said I'm going to the bathroom, they'd be like, "Are you AFK bio?" I'm like, "Shut up."
So, Jimmy, you were getting targeted at going to get. Who says they weren't already targeted, if you know what I mean? So Brendan Park said, Jimmy, are you going to buy the Broken Binding Malazan editions when they come out? Yeah, as long as I don't have to fight for them, right? Like, not doing that. This subscription to Broken Binding having like a year wait for the one and 10 years for the other is very disenfranchising. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, I'm just jealous because I got my China Mieville's Perdido Street Station edition from Broken Binding, and it's immaculate. I love it. I love it so much. I love the packaging they sent it in. And the only thing I can think of is I sat there and stared. I was like, man, I'd love to be one of their subscribers. But unfortunately, they don't have them. Yeah, suppose you don't have to be subbed to buy them. Yeah, I know that. But, you know, I think it's going to be, I don't know, maybe. I'm going to try. How about that? And I will give Broken Binding this. Broken Binding has a decent website, and I don't feel like I'm going to lose my credit card information to like the Russian mafia when I go to it. While I went to a special edition site today for an 11/22/63 edition, and I literally decided not to buy from the website because their copyright was still 2017. And I'm like, I don't want to give these people my credit card number. It seems like a terrible idea. So shout out to Broken Binding for at least being up to date with the website. The packaging is just absurd. Yeah, the Perdido Street Station edition from Broken Binding is absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion. Bell 2, what's up, man? He said, Jimmy, when are we reading Earth? So it's not going to be this month. I really wanted it to be March, and I know that you were planning on reading in March. I will try, but like I don't think I'll be honest. I don't think it's going to happen. I've been reading.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a mess right now, guys. I've read 100 pages of like 6 different books, and I don't know which one I'm supposed to finish first. Other than In Ascension, I'm definitely going to be doing. And then I'm going to be reading Sailing to Sarantium by Guy Gravel K for sure. And then whatever the Patreon pick is, which I'll pick probably tomorrow or Sunday. So Artificial scarcity to create demand, late stage capitalism. You might not be wrong, actually.
Come say hi to these people.
Christina, come say hello.
Hi.
Hello. How are you? How are you feeling?
Good. Pretty good overall. Little. I'm very big, so I'm starting to feel like.
Have you seen the duck cartoon of the lemonade stand thing?
I have not.
Oh, it's like the duck walked up to the lemonade stand
and he said to the man
running the stand, boo boo boo. Got any grapes? And at the end of every verse is like, and he waddled away, waddle waddle. And he waddled away, waddle waddle waddle. That's how Christina walks now, like that duck.
Christina, you're very popular with the chat. Many people are greeting you, saying you look great.
Hello, everybody.
We're wishing you a fast delivery, I guess.
Friggin' her entire family started a group chat today where they friggin' placed a betting pool on when the child's coming.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. They tried to do that with my in-laws, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I was like, I'm good.
Oh, really? I was like,
waiting.
I said in my stand, her mom was like, "You're so optimistic, Alan," because I said the most inconvenient day for him to come would be March 25th. So that's the date I'm gonna bet on.
That's definitely it.
Kim said, I go to a pizza buffet every week. I know exactly how it feels. Bet it all on March 15th. You're not wrong.
No,
you're not wrong.
I don't want it to be that. Christina, if you go on to labor on the 15th of March. Oh no, I did say the 15th. Oh, I forgot momentarily. I forgot it was Ides of March. No, I don't want it. 16th is fine.
Wait, you predicted it would be on the Ides?
No, I said ideally it would be the 15th in the afternoon, because that's the afternoon after our last day before spring break. So I would have all of spring break off without having to take any unpaid leave, because I don't get any freaking leave. But I forgot it was Ides of March. Christina, if you go into labor on the 15th, you got to hold it in until the 16th. You cannot be born on the 15th. Hold it in. Hold it in.
Thought this out. You really should have thought this out, Al.
I know.
It's all going to go super smoothly. You're going to get all spring break with your kid, and it's going to be wonderful. That's
April
1. No. I had a friend in high school whose birthday was April 1. Just hold it.
It was the 31st this year.
I think I had an ex-girlfriend with an April Fool's. I just remember April Fool's because that's when I had my knee surgery and it ended my wrestling career. So it always makes me really sad.
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Not to bring the mood down or anything, but and also Brent, I definitely want to be in the mood to read Earth, because I know it's different than Book of the New Sun, and I know it's going to be a challenging read. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm in the mood for it, because I don't want to, I took my time with Book of the New Sun, so why wouldn't I do that with the rest of them?
Christina says that Earth Day's in April, so read it then.
Earth Day's in April. April's more likely than March at this point, because I just said I've started so many books. I read chapter 1 of Greatcoats. I've read 100 pages of Gideon the Ninth. I've read 100 pages of Cloud Atlas. I've read 120 pages of In Ascension, which I'm going to finish. I haven't even started sailing to Sarantium. What else? I started another book. What did I start? Do you remember, Alan? Oh, I read the first 120 pages of Garden of the Moon the other day for no reason.
Why?
I just was in the Malazan mood. Like, I wanted to see what the Marines were up to,
Didn't someone ask you if you were getting the Broken Binding versions or something?
Yeah, I went on a big rant about how I'm jealous.
While I was peeing?
Yeah, while you were BRB bio.
Yeah,
AFK.
AFK bio. While I was AFK bio. Heck yeah, LSD.
Nitha said, you seriously already started Greatcoats? When does your read along begin?
Oh, I mean, whenever. Anita told me not March, so anytime not March.
Yeah, I definitely cannot do March, because if I have it my way, I'd like to get Cloud Atlas done and then Gideon the Ninth, which, by the way, Sarah recommended to me.
I know who recommended it to you. I know. I listened to her talk about that trash.
I don't know where I stand on it, actually.
The answer is you are underwhelmed because she oversold it, and you are finding it lacking. You have weighed it in the scales of existence, and you have found it wanting.
That is not true. That's a false
true. Sarah, do you hear that, Sarah? I'm messing her right now. Jimmy.
It's like midnight where she's at. She's not responding.
I mean, okay, she'll have it when she wakes up. Hold on. Sarah.
Do not write
Jimmy
Sarah.
hates Gideon the Ninth.
I don't. I
Hold
don't.
on.
I
Hold
literally.
on. The Ninth, as all decent humans do.
Listen, Gideon the Ninth has been very interesting thus far. I thought you were going to dox her telephone number for half a second. It's
Well,
just blurry. It's just blurry. Nice. Jimmy hates Gideon the Ninth as all decent humans do. This is not true. And now I have to tell her that you're lying, and she's going to be so confused.
She would never believe you.
You might be right.
I only speak the truth.
Here's
It's not as if she can watch this stream back and see what you actually said.
She's busy. She's not going to watch this.
That's what I'm relying on. That's what I'm relying on her being busy.
So here's the thing about Gideon the Ninth. Our good friend Mendelin, or Mike, he read it and didn't like it. And I said,
that's because Mendelin's a decent human being.
And I said, well, Mike, why didn't you like it? And he goes, I didn't dislike it for any of the reasons everybody else does. I disliked it because the world felt empty. He's like, there's just no people in the world. And he is so right. There's literally nobody. It's like it's just the characters that are named exist and that there's no one else. And he nailed it. And it does bother me, actually. And I think it might be on purpose, but I'm not convinced it is yet. So that's why it bothers me. But other than that, honestly, I'm having a really good time. I've seen people say it's like Christoph adjacent, and I don't know if I agree with that. They're both Australian authors.
Did you ever read Empire of the Vampire?
I read the first 10 chapters, and I have a really weird reason for kind of bouncing off of it. Very strange reason. So
did you know that Empire of the Vampire is as good as The Winter King?
Oh, according to who?
Sarah.
Really? I don't know. Here's the thing. Empire of the Vampire, the reason why I had to kind of put it down, it has nothing to do with edginess or the content, actually. It's that it is a first-person chronicling tale, like the guy's telling his story, but it's literally told all in dialogue tags. So it's like double quotes, single quote when people are talking. And I know this sounds weird, but I don't know why it messes with me super bad. And it made me like have to restart sentences multiple times. Like I felt like I couldn't get into a groove with it. I imagine on audio, it might be slightly better. But what I read of it, I definitely liked it more than the Nevernight books personally. So
did you read all the Nevernight books?
I read 1.5. I read like 3/4 of book 2. And I ended up putting it down. I did say I was going to finish it at some point, but
when did you read that?
Like last year, I got them on audio. I think they were at my library or something. And I have a couple friends that really like Nevernight, so I wanted to try it out. And I got through book 1, and I was kind of like, there's things I hate, things I like. And then book 2, there was just some scenes that I didn't feel comfortable reading.
I read the preview chapter on Amazon of Empire of the Vampire, and I'm not certain I've ever hated anything more in my entire life.
Really?
Yes, it is literally every single thing that I hate in a book is in that first chapter. There's nothing I like about it. Like there's not one thing that I could point at and be like, you know what, at least it's this. Nothing. I hate it so much. I'm like, this is not the book for me. And the thing is, you know what I don't have to do? I don't have to ping the author on Twitter and let him know that. In fact, if you could, Jimmy, when you're done, if you could tag Christoph in this video so that he can hear me say that. Like, who needs to do that? Why do people do that?
It is a little bit bewildering to me when people tag authors on Twitter, seemingly to ruin their day. Very strange.
I don't understand. Like, people need to find something to do. Like, they need to find something like piddling around on the internet can't be the thing that you like to do. Like, people need to get a hobby or sit in a room and contemplate the universe. Like, be bored. Because if you post on Twitter like a dozen times a day, you are an addict. You need to find something to do. Like, you just need to. Like, there's no, like I realize that you think every thought you have, everyone needs to hear, but it's not actually true. Like, it's not true. Go touch grass. Touch grass. Just touch it. Like, go out and feel the grass. Feel the grass. Lay in the dirt. Let the lice crawl on your head. Like, you know,
There's a really bad tick problem going around. I would not lay in the grass.
That's fine. That's fine. You know what? Lyme disease is better than having to listen to your tweets. So,
That is a bold statement.
look, I said it here. I stand by it. I chose my words.
Also, Hayden said Empire of the Vampire isn't even that edgy. Yeah, I didn't feel like it was omega edgy from what I read of it. Like I said, it was literally the formatting of it. I know it's a stupid thing. It's a me problem. But you know, maybe I'll do it on maybe I'll do it on audio. Hobo Giant says, I bet a CWM with Jay Kristoff would make it to the top 3 most viewed, no doubt. Without a I imagine I can have a very good conversation with Jay Kristoff, actually.
Look, if coach had put me in the championship game, we'd have won state title. No doubt. No doubt in my mind.
Some people are doubting that Lyme's disease is bad. Considering that it's a life-altering, incurable disease.
So is having to listen to people's verbal diarrhea on Twitter. So
it just depends on how you use it.
You know what? I'm sticking by it. You know what? I'm doubling down. I'm doubling down on Lyme disease.
I feel like it's all about how you use Twitter. You know, some people use it for good. Some people use it to be mean.
Why would you need to post 12 times a day on Twitter? Give me a situation where you need to do that.
I don't know. Maybe they like it.
Jimmy, do not play devil's advocate with me on this. You also think people who post on my Twitter, on Twitter, interesting. Don't try to sell me out right now.
I mean, I feel bad for all the Twitter users out there. You know, I feel like you're coming at them, and you know, it's just
you are the worst kind of person.
It's unfair, Alan.
You are the worst kind of person.
I apologize to all the Twitter users that are listening out there right now. I apologize. I know you guys are big fans of the show. Are you reading God Jin? Is that what you're reading right now?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be reading Gaijin till the heat death of the universe, Jimmy. I have never read a book this long in my entire life, and I've read this before, and I liked it like many years ago, and I still like it, except for the 2 main characters, and I hate them. Anything on the page.
How is it different from the first 2 though? Like, is it a different time period?
Yeah. So Shogun takes place in 1600. And then Taipan is 200 plus years later in Hong Kong. And then this is like 20 something years after Taipan, but it takes place in Japan. So it has the grandson of the main character from Taipan. The main character Taipan is awesome. His grandson is absolutely insufferable. And his whole business deserves to go under because of how horrible and awful this stupid character is. And then there's it's right before the Meiji Restoration when Japan lost. It became more like a democratic constitution type thing in Japan, which happened in like the 1860s. So it's right before that, but it's about trade and political and like the opening of Japan and establishing European dominance in Japan, that kind of stuff. And bringing the West to Japan, and I like all that stuff with the trade, and then the samurai who are still, because samurai used to be the lords, but now they're dirt poor. Like samurai are some of the poorest people in the country now because, and I like all that, but I hate the main character and the main girl, and it's just like I'm just like I hate,
like, not in a fun way.
No. Like I hate them in that. Literally the only thing it's about is this dude, they're underage and they want to get married. And that's it. They're underage, they want to get married. And I'm just sitting here like, hey, bro, maybe if you focused on your business that your granddad was the Taipan of and established it as the dominant trading house in China and Japan, maybe if you focused on that instead of focusing on how you can get to marry this girl, because his mom don't want to marry her because 1, she's French, 2, her dad owes a bunch of money, and 3, she's Catholic, and we know the Protestants hate the Catholics at this time. But it's just like, stop. Who cares? I don't care that you're pining. I don't care. And it's just, I don't care. I want 1/both of them to die, and so we can move on with the Japan plot, which is actually really awesome.
Is there any opportunity for you to DNF this thing, or are you seeing it through no matter what?
Oh no, I'm gonna see it. I'm on page 800. I ain't DNFing it. Page 800. Get out of my face.
I've done it. I've done it.
Not gonna do it. The thing is, I've read it before and I like it. Like I do like it because I love because Clavel drops you in a time period and you're just there experiencing the time period, which I really like. I just don't like this particular part of the story. So we'll see. And I mean, like his endings are always kind of whirlwind type things, which I really like. And so I would hate to have slogged through the terrible stuff to get to the bad stuff. How am I giving off Eminem vibes?
It's the hat.
I didn't say anything about the music or the moment.
No, it's the hat. He rocks
Eminem wears a hat?
Now he does, yeah.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know a book that you dislike, and I've never tried it because you disliked it so much, and then I realized that I don't care that you dislike it, and I want to try it, is I just love your face. Powder Mage. I think I'm gonna try Powder Mage out. I think I'm gonna give it a go because I realize everyone else I know likes it, but you hate it.
Okay, so all that tells you is that everyone else is a freaking like is a sheeple who like likes crap because it's popular. Okay,
it is.
Guess what? Everyone else also likes freaking Mistborn era too.
Oh, Murphy didn't like Powder Mage. There you go.
So there are two reasonable people in this chat. Here's the thing, Jimmy. That prologue is one of the best prologues I have ever read. And here's the thing. We know Brian McClellan is like a protege of Brandon Sanderson. And that's obvious. Only he's not as good. But it is absolutely clear to me, and if I'm wrong, it's fine, but this is the narrative I've created in my head, that prologue was workshopped to death at one of the little like writing classes or whatever, because it is excellent. And then the rest of the book does not feel like it was workshopped at all, because everything that makes like the first, like the prologue, and then really like the first 7 or so chapters really good, completely vanishes. Like, and it's just like, what is even happening in this book now? There are two types of characters. There are the protagonists, and then there are the nobles who have a single personality trait. Their single personality trait is they hate commoners. That is it. They have no other differentiation other than they hate commoners. That's it.
But they're like ripping rails of cocaine and shooting muskets, right?
Sure.
Right?
I mean, sure, but only when it's convenient. They can't hit anything when it working would mess up the plot. But it always works when it needs to work.
Have you read the sequels?
No, but I have read all the novellas leading up to it, and now I'm going to read Powder Mage again, and then I'm going to read the sequel.
When are you reading it?
I don't know. At some point.
Hmm.
Why? Do you want to read it together?
Yeah, I'd be totally down because I wouldn't be in a rush to finish it, and it's a reread for you, so it's not.
Yeah,
it's not like
so
pressing.
I can use the audiobook, so I don't have to like look at all these reasonable people here in the chat saying that it's also mid.
Oh yeah, actually, I was kind of taken back. There was like immediately 10 messages. People were like, "Yeah, Powder Mage sucks."
So,
like, damn.
So I don't hate Powder Mage. Like my vitriol for Powder Mage comes from the fact that it is an absolutely wasted opportunity, in my opinion. I think that McClellan takes his setting, which I love, and I think he absolutely squanders it. There is no character development past that first chapter. It is an awesome system that is absolutely wasted, and that's what bothers me, is because I love Flintlock fantasy, and I just feel like it's just fumbled and it's just not done well. And so the book itself is not bad. I have read bad books.
Yeah,
it is just so underwhelming that it's just so mid. And I had such great expectations, especially after reading that prologue. And the first like 7 or so chapters are really good, and then it just stops being,
doesn't come together.
So when you read it, Jimmy, this will be a good test for you. You've read The Folding Knife. So when you read it, I want you to keep Basso in your mind, as we are shown repeatedly how smart Basso is.
Yes.
One of the 3 main characters is supposed to be the country's greatest detective. And I want you to find anywhere in that book where that is shown to us and not having people tell us. And the contrast could not be starker, because he's supposed to be this brilliant character, brilliant detective. Okay, if you say so. Like, if you say so. Like, and that is just, I don't know. It's just, it's so, like someone said, powder mid. Yeah, the powder mid.
I'm always blown away by how popular it is. Now, I'm not saying this is insane, but like when I think of Powder Mage, I think of it as kind of like, one of those like middling series that had its time in the sun and kind of like went out. But it has 56,000 ratings on Goodreads with a 4.14, and it won a Goodreads Choice Award.
It's amazing what you can do when you're endorsed by Brandon Sanderson.
Colton says, Jimmy, do you think Alan would like Perdido Street Station? I do. I think if you read the whole thing, you would like it.
And I've read parts of the first chapter, and it's got weird like Mothman sex or something.
You would have problems with it, but it's not a perfect book anyways. Like, it's very flawed, but I think you would be happy you read it afterwards. And I think I would really love to hear some of your commentary on like the revolution aspects of it, because that's the heart of the series, really.
That's cool. I do like that.
Oh, dude. Yeah. China Mieville writes the best revolutions.
I wish it wasn't so freaking weird. Like, I just wish it wasn't so weird.
Well, it is weird. I can't deny that.
Did you get the Broken Binding Perdido Street Station?
Yeah, I talked about that, and that's what I was talking about with the Malazan. I'm like, after getting Perdido, I'm like, oh, I gotta get the Malazan ones, damn it. Because honestly, the Perdido Street Station hardcover, I think it was with shipping like 45, maybe. I might be wrong. Maybe it's a little bit more than that. I don't know if you've seen hardback covers in Barnes & Noble. They're like $32. And I'm like, well, for $10 more, if I can get a really nice edition that looks fantastic on my shelf, like they're doing good things over there. I just wish that I could, get on their subscription list.
Well, I mean, you're what, 34, 33, 32?
33. Yeah.
32. So in 15 years, you want to be 50. You can get on it when you're 48.
For a second, I was doing that. Yeah, you're right. The tier 1 literally is that long, which is very upsetting. Someone
David,
said,
I have read the entirety of Black Company 3 times. Sorry.
Oh, has Alan read back? Yeah, I was gonna say, is Black Company in your top 5 favorite series?
I'd say my top 10 for sure. I've read Black Company. I've read the entirety of Black Company more than I've read any other fantasy series, except the City Watch Discworld books. Has to be. Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, and I've read up. I should read Shadow Games next, but Silver Spike.
I've got Silver Spike right here.
Was good, but it did not motivate me to pick up the next one.
100%. I say it all the time. The sum of Black Company's parts is better than each individual piece. Like, the entire tale of Black Company is what I remember. I remember it as a whole, because when people are like, I'm reading this book, I'm like, I don't like that book. I'm reading this book, I don't like that book. I'm reading this book, I don't like that book either. Here are the books that I like: Black Company, Shadows Linger, and then I don't love book 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, but I really like books 8, 9, and 10. But the entire story, I love. But I am not.
Isn't 10 Port of Shadows? Isn't that the newer one?
No, 10 is Soldiers Live. Port of Shadows is the one that was written like 20 years later.
Yeah, I've never heard a good thing about that one.
Not even one. I have not heard one. I mean, no, that's not true. Like rapists like it, but most people who aren't don't like it. What?
Oh, there's so many jokes that I'm not going to say. God. Alan, let's talk about Justice of Kings. Let's talk about Richard Swan, because The Empire of the Wolf is done. We and you read the 3rd book together. And
I have not yet actually put my rating out or filmed the video net. I need to, but
I think
what are people's problems?
She said only rapist book.
So the book is notorious for being like super rapey, and like that's what everyone's problem with it. But there's always people who come in and are like defending it, and it's just like, why are you defending that? It's just weird.
I've also heard that he literally forgot how to write Crocus or I'm sorry,
Croaker. Yeah,
Croaker. Sorry, I said I was reading Mitch's comment.
I know. And Crocus is Malazan.
Yeah. No, we're not going to spoil the series, I promise.
No. It's tremendous. I would never spoil it. There are too many cool things that happen that are just really cool when you don't see them coming.
Yeah, definitely unique, and that's what I appreciate about it. Which, and I know I was talking about getting the ninth and how I'm like not sure how I feel about it yet, but like one thing I will say, at least it feels unique. Like at least it stands out in its weirdness.
I would grant getting the ninth that. Like I'll never read it, but for sure, like people that are trying to do something different, at least, even if it's a complete miss, like I can at least give you props.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really liked about Swan's trilogy, to kind of tie it back to that, is there's a lot about that trilogy that to me is a little bit like paperboard cutouty, but the horror stuff that he's going for, that you can tell that he has a big passion for, and that's like one of the things that was driving him to write that story. Really, really love the horror aspects of Empire of the Wolf. And I mean, you like book 3, right? I liked it. I liked it more than book 2. I liked book 1 the most, I think. So I'm book 1, 3, 2. I think you and I honestly had very similar experience in book 3 because we were reading it pretty slowly. We kind of kept in pace with each other. And there was just some times where me and you were like, what's going on here? And then there was other times where demons are crawling out of dudes' rectums, and we're like, this is pretty wild. This is pretty crazy.
So a lot of the reviews for this say, comment on pacing, and that it tried to do too much for the final book, and also that it seems like Swan changed his mind about what he wanted the books to be about. And I don't know if that's true, and I don't think that's true from what I've talked to him, because he's always told me there was going to be more horror later. And you have the necromancy scene in the first book, but I liked it because I really like the first book. That's why I love Greatcoats. Like the reason I love Justice of Kings is the same reason I love Greatcoats. It's a traveling magistrate. Now they're written differently, and are obviously different, but the traveling magistrate thing is the same. Like I just love justice stuff, and so I love that exploration. The horror stuff, I also like. I told him the same thing. I sent him a message saying like you need to be the next like Lovecraft mythos author, because his cosmic horror stuff is wonderful. Like it's really good. The problem I had with the book is I liked it, and again I liked it better than the second one also. Is I just didn't. It just felt really, I don't know, like dissonant with the story about the magistrates and justice, and then freaking Azathoth and Cthulhu, and again not actual in there, but like the equivalent of all this, like the demon worlds, like underworld angels, demons,
the horror aspects,
aspect. And horror is one thing. Like, oh, okay, they're going through a place, and there's horror, and then there's cosmic horror, which is what we're dealing with over here. And it just felt really like I was like how? What is the story? Like, it's just not what I expected to get with this. And so I like both of them individually, I think, a little better than I like them combined. Like if this was a straight up horror novel, like existential horror novel, boom, let's do it. But I think with Justice of Kings, and I think a lot of people have this problem, is that Justice of Kings set up the expectation that it's going to be more of that. And it's not really until the end. I mean, the trial at the end, I love that. Like, I was like, yes, trial and logistics. Like, give it to me. It's KJ Parker and freaking Law and Order. Let's do it. So it's just a weird mesh for me. But I don't think it's like anything else out there. Like for sure. Like I don't think that blend is anywhere.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, like, when we're talking about people who are kind of doing different things, that's what I liked about it. And I do think he could have maybe laid some more groundwork in book 2, especially because I think book 2 is the weakest. But overall, I did like it. I know Anitha said, oh, you gave it 3 stars. 3 stars is not bad, honestly. Like 3 stars, that's what it felt like to me. It was like, I'm really excited about what he does next.
I gave it 4 because I like the end. The end for me saved it and put it to 4 because I loved the last couple chapters.
Yeah, I did like the actual end, like the ending of the book. I
Yeah.
really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And I liked more than I disliked too. And I don't even know how much I truly dislike. Mitch says, I DNF, but I was worried that he was making the Eldritch a little too human in motivation. We ain't supposed to understand. Scarcity and incomprehension is the point of that genre.
So that is like okay. So first of all, like look at Mitch and his wonderfully insightful comment.
Mitch is
I just
super smart.
I know. Mitch couldn't be as funny as he is if he wasn't super smart.
True.
So we're used to like Mitch has the joke comments, which is hilarious. But this is true, and this is the big thing where a lot of like Lovecraft fanatics hate August Derleth, and I'm actually in the camp where I don't like August Derleth just because I think Derleth thought he was better than he was. I like all of the other Arkham House writers, just not Derleth himself.
Mhm.
But the point of Cthulhu and Azathoth and all these Lovecraftian beings is that it's to show us that how small and insignificant mankind is. These beings are not evil. They don't have a concept of what we think of as good
morality, right?
They are just so unknowable that we think they're evil because they'll destroy the universe. But they're not doing it because they're evil. They're doing it because they're unknowable. Like these are eldritch gods, right? And then Derleth comes in, and he's the one that kind of knits the mythos, the Cthulhu mythos together. He makes them beings of evil. The great old ones are evil, but then you have like, what are the other ones? The outer gods. These are forces of good that are working against the great old ones. And so it becomes this standard, just like larger scale battle of good and evil, which a lot of people didn't like because it really kind of takes away from what Lovecraft was trying to show with the kind of existential, unknowable, like beyond morality type thing. So Cthulhu is now like an evil god instead of like, you know, in Dead Real, yeah, Cthulhu lies dreaming or whatever. So that's an excellent point, Mitch.
Yeah, and I think whenever you have something like that that's outside of like good and evil, based on like human basis, you get to kind of do that thing where you mesh, like, I don't know, the idea of existence, like I don't know, and then the personal struggle of that. Like, it's one of the things that the book I'm reading right now, In Ascension, I'm reading it slowly, but it's really, really good. I think a lot of people probably find it really boring, but it's doing that very, very well, connecting the personal insights and experiences to this idea of like this cosmic thing, because it's the first contact sci-fi, but it's really more like a literary fiction with a little bit of sci-fi on the side. But that's something that I like when things do that.
It's
and
hard
honestly,
to write. It's hard to write.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's very hard.
And you know, Lovecraft is super racist, like whatever, but like he just does it so well. He just does it so well.
What, his racism?
I mean, he's a terrible human. No. I mean, no, he does racism crappy too. But like the existential stuff. Like what Urza says, we don't feel bad when we step on an ant. It's like that. Like, we're not evil because we step on ants. Like,
unless if you're Philip. Philip would feel bad.
Freaking Philip. But yeah. So but like hold on, who said Paul? Yes, I love that scene with Jansen. Jansen's the senator, you remember?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good scene. That's a good scene. I like that. And Chadia, I like Helena. The thing that Jimmy and I both don't like, and I didn't like it in book 2 either. I don't like the relationship, like the weird romantic feeling thing between Von Volt and Helena. I don't like that. Like, I don't like it. I didn't like it in book 2. Like, I understand her having like kind of like puppy dog feelings for him because that's just how that happens. Like, I do understand that. But like, as soon as Von Volt was like, I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Like, this is weird. This is like, let's just move on. Like,
my problem with Helena isn't necessarily the character, but more so the fact that it's told in the first person chronicling style, and I don't know why. Like, like, just that decision is kind of weird to me. Like, he doesn't do much with like unreliable narrative. He doesn't do much with it, other than what I like to call, like, you know, the foreshadowing.
That if only we had known. Yeah.
Yes.
I like that though.
I don't mind. I don't mind it, but if that's the only thing you're doing with it, I'm just like, well, maybe we could have done this in third, because I really wouldn't have minded getting in some of these other people's heads. Like Claver would have been really interesting to be in his head, and probably one of those characters that would be hard to write, actually. Yeah. So for me, I always wonder, like, why did they pick the perspective they're in? Plus, I just read Book of the New Sun, which is like absurdly good at using the first person narrator, chronicling tale. So, Jimmy, have you read Stephen Erickson's First Contact novel? I have not. I own it, and I've been wanting to read it for a very long time. I've heard very mixed things about it, but I feel like I'm gonna love it. What kind of shirt does your dog have on?
It says Queen Bee. She's the Queen Bee.
It's very cute.
Hey, Sophia. Hey, Sophia. What are you doing, Sophia? What are you doing, Sophia? What are you doing?
Adam says, Jimmy, I'm 200 pages into Shadow of the Torture, and I'm wondering how much of what I read is true. I felt that way through all 4 books, and it's actually one of the reasons why I loved my experience with it, because it actively had me wondering how much of it was supposed to be the translation, how much of it was actually Severian, and other aspects that I can't say because of spoilers.
Barked at me.
How dare you, Sophia? We're live.
She barked at me like I stopped paying attention. I put her down and stopped paying attention. She barked at me. What is that? She's never done that before. That's weird.
She's jealous. She knows the baby's coming. She's worried her time's going to get split.
No, she Christina is in our bedroom and has closed the door so she can't get in there. So she's literally standing here whining at me till I pet her, and she's mad that she can't go in and see Christina. That's what she's mad at.
I am gonna be letting you go here soon, because I'm gonna be playing a little bit of
because you've got someone else to talk to.
No, I'm gonna play some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I just wanted to let you know it is embarrassing how much better Rebirth is than Final Fantasy 16. It is embarrassing.
It should be embarrassing,
dude. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is honestly really, really good. I think it actually fixes a lot of the things you hated about the first one.
Really? So you mean they don't move me 2 feet and then have me press triangle again?
There's one point that you do that, but it's a much better game than the first remake, and I like the first remake. But man, Final Fantasy 16 was real bad. Now that like I'm away from it, like it's not a mid-tier game. It's actually a bad, maybe not bad. I might be being a little harsh.
I think it's mid. Like I can't remember a ton past the prologue that I super enjoyed about 16. Like I thought, I was just like, this is fine. Like I thought some cutscenes were really cool, but past that,
the boss fights and the cutscenes were cool, but it was.
Gavin, no. The answer is no. You should, if you don't play Final Fantasy, play Final Fantasy Remake first. Like, don't play the second one first.
You can get both of them for the price of one, I believe, or at least that was a sale that was going on. You can get Remake and Rebirth. I actually think Remake was my first Final Fantasy. I think.
Chad, he's the one that always ditches me.
Remember when you guys used to go for 5 hours?
I mean, it's never me. Jimmy's always like, "Well, I gotta go get something to eat."
It's not exclusive to you.
It is. I saw like you had freaking Sarah on here longer than this.
I don't think I did.
Is that what I am to you? A subpar Sarah, great Sam's Club Sarah?
To be fair.
No, not to be fair.
Sarah and I had not talked for literally months. Like months. Like not at all. No, I talked to Sarah for 2 hours and 1 minute.
You're right, Anita. Jimmy hates Alan confirmed. It's because of my One Piece videos, isn't it?
Honestly, it's because you're having a kid. I just don't like parents.
You know what?
I'm just kidding.
I get it. I understand.
I can't believe that you've never come on Dudes Talking Manga to talk to me about One Piece.
What? Jimmy?
What? I figured, I said, hey.
Jimmy, I have told you to put me on there to talk about manga before, and you, Jimmy, put me on there and we'll talk about Marine Ford.
Oh, I actually am planning on having you and Murphy on for Marine Ford. That's maybe the last thing I'll ever do on that channel, possibly. We'll see. I'm not sure yet.
That's because people are freaking douchebags.
Yeah, it's also just one of these things. Like people are like, man, you're getting like tens of thousands of views on your One Piece, and I've enjoyed making them, but it really makes me sad whenever I can't interact with comments. Like it really kills a lot of it for me.
Yeah, I
Um,
understand. I completely understand.
I really like interacting with people. I know that's kind of a weird thing, but for me, not being able, basically not reading any of the comments now, it just takes a lot of the fun out of it for
Yeah,
me.
I mean, I agree. I like it. That's why I don't understand when people have like live shows, but then don't mess with the comments at all. Like what you just pre-recorded at that point. Like if
I
you're not
think
gonna
some people, yeah, I agree with you. I think some people get really overwhelmed. And I get behind on chat a lot of
I'm
the
not talking
time.
about getting behind or like just doing it sporadically because you're new to it and it's not like I'm talking about like literally don't even like address, look at, highlight a single comment the entire like why have it live then? Like what's the point in us talking if you're just gonna ignore us the entire time? That's what you
And
do whenever I'm in the audience for chatting with nuts.
that's not true. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with your messages, and then I get
That's
behind on
right.
chat, and then you're going, "Oh my god, he's so behind on chat," and I'm like, I wish this guy would just shut his mouth.
I'm like, oh my gosh, well, I'm gonna be gone by the time Jimmy gets this comment.
I'm just praying that a intruder snips your Wi-Fi every time.
So I came home and my Wi-Fi was not working. And I was
Good.
like, is Jimmy trying to keep me off of chatting with nuts?
That's what it was. I snipped the keyboard. I just clipped the USB cord. It's like, no.
Look, Jimmy and I are gonna come live to you for at least a brief period of time in 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah,
If
we
I
gotta get that figured out.
because he's gonna be in I'm gonna try to come see him when he's on vacay.
Yeah.
It will all depend on has my wife given birth yet? And
my in-law schedule.
correct. Can you get the time away? So
Yeah, I would absolutely love to do a live stream of us at Universal.
dude.
I think I would do that. I would take it down after. It'd be a special secret stream.
It will be nothing but me complaining because I have not been to Universal since 2003. And I don't go to these places because there aren't as many roller coasters as there are Busch Gardens, and there aren't animals, and it's more crowded and more expensive. And I hate waiting in line.
I'm going to tell you right now. I looked up it, and this is the thing that's keeping me from going to Universal. Me and Kelsey with Fast Pass, because we'd only be going a day. We'd need a Fast Pass if we want to ride a lot of stuff. $800, Alan. One day, $800. Who's going to Universal? Who can afford this?
I just watched a video about the average cost of a couple going to Disney World, Magic Kingdom, like $850 for one day. One day. So literally with a Disney trip costing you like $4,000, like for a few days, you could literally just go to Italy. Like you could go to Europe.
That's what I'm saying. Like I went to Puerto Rico and I was astonished by how cheap one it was to get there for me, and two, how cheap everything was there. And I was like, for a 3-day at Disney, I could go to Puerto Rico for a month. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And people always wonder why I go to Vegas so often. It's because it's like the easiest and cheapest place for me to go.
Yeah. No, don't worry, Alan patrons. I'll stream it also. We'll have doubles, we'll have dual streams going.
Yeah, see, Alan put his behind a paywall. I didn't. I'm a man of the people.
No, they were saying that you were going to do a patron only stream. Mine's not going to be a paywall either. Get out of here, Jimmy. Jimmy, I am a man of the people.
I don't think you are anymore.
How am I not? It's because I hate the people.
Yeah, I think you hate the people.
No, I'm still of them. I just also hate them.
Well, Frank, I did everything I could to boost Puerto Rico's culinary economy because I ate so much food and I tipped everyone extraordinarily well because everyone was so damn nice. I know they have to be because like tourism's their big thing, but my God, the people of Puerto Rico are absolutely wonderful people. And now I'm learning Spanish. Donde?
¿Cómo estás?
Man of the people, typical fascist.
And
you didn't like the Dispossessed. That is true.
That is true because it's too freaking hippie for me. Actually, it's too. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm awake.
You bored? Are you bored?
I'm reading The Dispossessed. I am.
That hurts my soul, Alan.
You haven't read it. Get out of my face.
Yeah, I know, but you hate Ursula K. Le Guin.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
I
just don't like The Dispossessed. I do
you
not.
Said you hated her and her haircut, and I think it's
no. You know what I said? I knew I was right about female authors. That's what I.
You're never gonna beat the allegations. You're never gonna beat
Never gonna beat the rap.
You're never kidding.
I know. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh my god.
No, I would read something else by Le Guin. Just not
There's you should do Lathe of Heaven. I think that you might enjoy that.
That's one about dreams, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. You might not. It's very Philip K. Dickish. So if you like Philip K.
I mean, I like Philip K. Dick. I love Minority Report.
Oh, then you will like it. Okay.
Man,
I feel confident you'll like it.
A lot.
Adam wants to know when we're seeing Shelf Unstable and Chad with Nuts. There's a very good chance that this could happen because Amanda, I hope, is going to be making some more videos, but also Amanda is going to be releasing a book.
Are you really?
Amanda is a very talented writer. She's been working really hard on a book, and she has her pre-order up. I need to put that up so people will go pre-order it. That'll freak her out.
What's it called?
I can't remember the title of it currently. I also kind of want to ask her if she's okay with me sharing it because I don't know if that'll freak her out.
Send it to me in the freaking private chat.
Well, of course I'll send it to you.
None of these clowns can see it. There you go. That's right, guys.
None of these clowns.
Oh, I thought we were off the air.
She said, do not promote this, James.
Just send it to me. She doesn't mean me.
She would be okay with you, I think.
Most people, I don't know. It depends on how she feels about my One Piece takes.
I don't think she cares about One Piece.
Oh, well, then we're fine.
Matthew Beatty asked, Jimmy, are you liking In Ascension? I am loving it.
It doesn't matter, Amanda. I'd buy it anyway for support.
And it's also going to be incredibly hard to talk about In Ascension because everyone's going to be hyped whenever I'm hyped about it. And they're going to read it and be like, this is super boring. And I'm going to be like,
what is In Ascension? I've never heard of it.
It's about a microbiologist. I'm sorry, not a microbiologist, a marine biologist finding a trench that's deeper than the Mariana Trench. And then somehow it turns into a First Contact novel. And it is written very personably from this. I think she grew up in Norway or something like that, but she had a very abusive household and a broken family. And like how she sees the universe is like reflected through her personal relationships and like seeing beyond like what we know. It's very interesting, but it is. People would say it was slow. I love it though. I really like it.
That's cool.
Here's one thing I will say, and I just read Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. I hope that I said that right. And it is about a butler who gets a couple days off. That's literally what the story's about. And he's a guy who was a butler to someone that had pretty controversial politics in England during World War II. And it's him coming to the realization that even though he did his job to his very best, that there's a possibility that maybe he messed up, but he like refuses to accept it. And I have found that I really love when fiction just puts me in the shoes of a profession or a person and explains it to me in a way that's like human. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Yeah, I compare it exactly to Stoner with the exact opposite message, I think, where Stoner is like all about doing a job and doing it well and taking pride in it. I think that Remains of the Day is almost a little bit of a warning because this guy is a butler. He knows everything about being a butler. He knows what it takes to be a good butler, and he lives his life almost in detriment to be that butler. And it's a book about dignity. It's a book about what that means to certain people. And man, I don't know. How do you sell a book to somebody about a professor like Stoner or like a butler like Remains of the Day? I don't know. I don't know how you sell it to people. And I always feel weird about it.
You read such a wide array of things. I don't.
I have to.
I don't want to, though. Why do you have to? Who makes you?
No, that's kind of how I am. You know, I'm like this with video games too. Like I'll play like a city sim and then I'll play Souls games for like 6 months straight. And then I'll play like a Final Fantasy. I'll play it first. I've always been someone that likes to kind of throw a big net and see what sticks. But it's not necessarily that I'm like looking for like butler fiction. It's just I like a story. You could tell me a story about anybody doing a job and how they look at their lives, and like I'm in. Like I'm just in on that. It's why I like Butcher's Crossing. It's why I like Stoner. It's why I like Remains of the Day. And I think that's just something that like I've realized about myself, that I can get away with a really boring subject matter if it feels true and I really feel like I'm in someone else's shoes. And In Ascension is very similar as well. I don't know diddly squat about micro or oceanography or any of this stuff. But being in the shoes of someone who feels like they do, you know, it's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Jimmy Rex, good anti-TBR, 100%, 100%. But I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't care. It's just what I like, you know? Steve said,
finally hit 11,000 subs.
hey,
congrats. I've been at 10,000 for a year.
I just hit 16,000.
Why on earth was that necessary with what I just said?
I thought we were bragging, so I thought I would. Well, yours is more impressive because you do it without posting anything.
I literally have your address. I'm going right now to put white powder in an envelope, and I'm going to send it to you. And as I said that, YouTube, I'm kidding. Nothing that says that for me. The white powder will merely be baking soda.
This is easily our most demonetizable episode of all time.
100%. I don't know who started it. Like, I don't know who did the first demonetization.
I blame Kev.
I also blame Kev.
I can't believe that Steve Donahue says that Ishiguro is a dude bro. How is that dude bro? The female character is the best part of the book.
I don't understand.
Dude bro.
Stoner is a dude bro book. I don't think dude bros can read well enough to read Stoner.
It's the Stoics. It's their fault.
My students are getting into Marcus Aurelius. You want to know why? Because I told them Marcus Aurelius sucks, and so they decided they're going to read Marcus Aurelius, and they start quoting Marcus Aurelius to me, and I'm like, why, guys? This is trash. Like, this is a motivational poster. It's garbage. It's garbage.
But to them, it might be gold, man.
To them, freaking scrolling through TikTok is gold. Watching some person shake their bootay is gold. They don't know what's gold. They're too stupid. I have to tell them.
You know best, damn it.
I do know best. What do they know? They don't know anything. When they come to me, they know nothing, Jimmy. They don't know anything. I have to teach them.
I don't think it's necessarily that it's bad that they come quoting Marcus Aurelius, but the problem is that they stop there. Like, they don't go further. They don't hear any arguments against these. You know what I mean? Like, and that's also with just like philosophy, like people to stop at Nietzsche. And I'm no philosopher by the way, but I do see people kind of just stop there and they say, yep, this is what I do now. This is what I say. This is what I believe. And I think it's always a good idea probably to find arguments against that thing or to see it from a different perspective.
Y'all mean Zaddy knows best. That's terrible.
Zaddy knows best.
I have to like, they don't know anything. So I have to chew it up like a mama bird, like these bits of knowledge and then feed it to them. So they are sustained by my wisdom.
Alan, what are you excited about reading next? Like, once you're done with Guy Jin, finally, like, what are you going to read? Are you reading Fire and Blood?
No.
God damn.
Look, first of all, you know what else is on my desk? Let me show you what's on my desk. You ready for this? You ready for this? You ready for this? That's what's on my desk.
No, you're not going to read it.
Oh, of course not. It's just here. So I can wave it in front of the thing. And in fact, I'm not going to read it, even though I had my patrons vote on what like non-continuation series, like what the first I want to pick up a book is. And Lies of Locke Lamora won overwhelmingly.
It's such an Alan book. It's such. I just love the fact that you had Fire and Blood and Lies of Locke Lamora on your desk. 2 books I've been trying to get you to read for like 6 months. And you show them to me and then have no plans of reading them. That's so ridiculous.
Look, you know what else was on that poll, Jimmy? Fire and Blood. And these fools picked Locke Lamora.
I think, didn't I end up telling you, like, you asked me which one that you should read. Did I say Lies? I think I did, didn't I?
Yeah, but only because only because you've given up. You knew Fire and Blood is better.
I feel like you going off about some of the stuff, some of the history in Fire and Blood would be my favorite thing on YouTube. Like, I would, oh my God, Alan, if you just read sections at a time and then we did live streams, oh my God.
Here's the thing. All these people say I'm going to like it. Philip has said that and people have agreed that I'm the hardest person to recommend for, because I can just find something, like I can just not like it for like no reason. or for some reason people don't suspect.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can latch on to certain things, like a 1 mile sighting of an enemy, or
That
millions of people.
that is Jimmy. That's like Jimmy in one of the freaking novellas, short stories, or whatever. He calls this thing a hope's end. But there's a name for it. It's a forlorn hope. Like there's already a name for that thing. You literally just have to Google it because it's not like he makes up like ranks, like field marshal's a rank, lieutenant's a rank, captain's a rank. Why would you make up Hope's End when there's a name for it? It's called the Forlorn Hope. It's called the Forlorn Hope. That's its name.
I like that you immediately gave an example of why you're hard to recommend.
No, it's just no. Google it.
I'm telling
Google
you,
it.
Alan, if you read Lives of Lamora, you would come back and you would go, I can't believe I didn't read this before.
I would never.
You would say, James, I'm indebted to you for this recommendation.
I would never say any of those words.
I now understand why you are 5,000 subs ahead of me, sir.
Let me explain to you why you're 5,000 subs ahead of me. You post videos.
Okay.
People like you better.
Okay. I'm better looking.
Yes, obviously. You don't have autism and people are ableist. So no, look, like they don't like people who are handicapped. So I mean, I understand. And
you don't think I'm on the spectrum?
What?
You don't think I'm on the spectrum?
I mean, you're on the JIT spectrum. So
I think it's also because I like One Piece, you know.
I mean, isn't that really the only reason you started reading One Piece?
So true.
Was to goose the stats.
Look how much I'm milking it for.
Look at I love the fact that we can sit here and talk about this and we just act like we're being serious, saying the worst things about each other.
That's what makes true friendship.
I mean, it really does. It really does. So they voted for this one for the next I had them vote. It was actually fun. I had them vote on what series I should continue next, and because sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't want to continue anything. I'm just going to pick up a book that is related to nothing else I'm reading. I'm just going to read it. And this was that book that they voted for. And then, what arc I read next, and they voted for Trials of Empire. So that's why I read Trials of Empire.
Oh,
I just finished that. So I let them pick that. I did give them because actually it saved me from analysis paralysis because I had like 6 arcs that I want to read or that I want to read, but I'm like, I don't know which one to read next. Y'all pick for me. And they picked. And I was like, cool, got it. Boom. So things I'm excited to read. I'm excited to reread Greatcoats. The new Greatcoats book that came out, Crucible of Chaos, I loved.
You have to read the first series, right?
Yeah, it spoils the ending of the other ones. I am excited to continue Shadows of the Apt.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. It's one of those things where you've left it for so long that it's hard to pick back up. But I promise, once I pick it back up, like I'm gonna find it hard to put down again. Because I enjoyed the first 4 more than most people in the read-along. So, and then. So that's what everyone thinks. The problem is that if I don't like Lies of Locke Lamora,
now
they're gonna accuse me of doing it for the bit. Like I am not someone like I know it seems like that, but that's a bit. I'm legit. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't like a book just so I can be right. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like I will say I have no problem. And Christina Christina, come out here and tell people that I apologize all the time. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. It just happens so rarely. So, but I don't have a problem coming out here and being like, look, okay, y'all were right. Y'all were right. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. So I was wrong. And you know what? This book's actually pretty good. So I'm hoping that it's good. The problem is that it's getting a whole lot of hype right now because of the broken binding. And
it seems like Lynch might be releasing some stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So the thing is, even though I might have been close to reading it, I'm not sure I can read it now.
You just said like last time I had you on how you wanted to be a part of like a hype train. You're like, I would love to be part of a hype train. This is the perfect time.
Yeah. So the problem is I want to be part of a hype train, but I want it to be something that I'm hyped about. that everyone
Once again,
else.
you want control. You want
No,
control of the
no.
situation.
I just want it to be something that I want it to be something that I like, and not something I have to pretend that I like for other people.
But you can like Lies of Locke Lamora.
I mean, sure, anything's possible. Christina, tell these people that I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. Tell them.
It's true. It's actually the weirdest thing. We'll be in the middle of like an argument. I mean, we're not like name callers or anything,
No.
but we can get pretty passionate. We'll be in the middle of it, and then just like he'll have this little light bulb moment, and it's just like a switch flips, and he's just like, "Oh, you're right. I'm sorry."
Yeah, and just
And
move
I'm
on.
like, I don't get how you do that. Like, I'm not that elastic. Even if I realize halfway through that I'm like, I am a little bit like, I don't know how do you say it, like.
I don't know. I'm autistic, so that's why I would do it.
But I mean, like, if I'm realizing like maybe I'm actually not in the right here, or he's got some good points. I can't just like bam. I'm like, well,
That's right. Y'all heard it here. Christina's the mean one.
Say mean, but I need time. And he will just like, I'll be like, oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
I'm
And
like,
then
okay,
just
yeah.
go,
I'm like, I'm sorry.
just
All
like
right.
evaporates. Poof.
That was my bad.
Like,
That was my bad.
how did that happen?
And move. Yeah, because as the fight, like as the argument goes on, like I'm like, this is a dumb thing that we're fighting about. I don't want to be fighting about this anymore because it's literally over nothing. And I was probably being difficult. And so I'm like, okay, sorry.
Yeah. So like when he realizes he's wrong, he just on the moment, in the spot, it's just like over. When I realize I'm wrong, I find a way to pause, walk away, calm down, compose myself, and come up with the right words. Then I come back.
All these people are saying you're being paid to agree with me. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
She is.
Because people cannot possibly believe that, one, I'm right ever. Two, that I'm actually the nice one. And three, and like
nicer than me.
I mean, I'm not nicer than you overall. I'm not.
You are very nice though.
I know.
You're just not gentle.
I know. I can't. I don't know how to.
Hostage videos are so scary. A pregnant hostage at that. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I mean, I probably should. So, Melissa, I don't actually have tell them. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Christina. I forgot to tell you too. On Monday night, Christina and I are going to have a live stream.
Oh, we are?
Yeah. Talking about, because we've talked about this before. I just didn't tell you when. Talking about having Asperger's, like my experience being on the spectrum and Christina's experience being married to someone on the spectrum, because Christina is a member of this group on Facebook about like women who.
It's a really specific group.
Women whose husbands are on the spectrum, and she reads some of them, and some of them are really like very, very just like negative about their husbands and the experience with a husband being on the spectrum. And I think Christina and I walk we walk that line really, really well with dealing with it. And it wasn't always super easy because, I mean, I'm certain people like I can be difficult in certain things, as she'll admit. There are certain things that so I'm not going to tell you to tell them, but I'll tell you can agree. I am really good in a crisis. Like, I'm really good in a crisis. Hurricane coming, boom, I got this. I don't like being mildly inconvenienced. I don't like being mildly inconvenienced. Like, shut down, complete breakdown, because I am mildly inconvenienced.
It's so true. Give us a pandemic, a Cat 5 hurricane.
Totally fine.
A car accident.
And I got it. Like, what do y'all need? Everyone else freaking out. I'm like, what do we do? All right, guys, let's just think, whatever. Let's do it.
But if the wait is too long in Outback.
I don't like being mildly inconvenienced. I don't like it. Like, I would rather be greatly inconvenienced.
It's so true.
It's really
the little you die a million deaths a day, like the little deaths.
I do. Death by a million cuts, Jimmy. Death by a million cuts. But anyway, we're gonna have that stream because I've been wanting to make a series of videos for a long time about. I still have a tab open right up here with my list of things I want to talk about why, like, how I see the world differently than some people and how it's been hard like my entire life, because I have been told by other people on the spectrum who watch my channel that they appreciate the openness with which I am willing to discuss it, because I most of the time really like being on the spectrum because of I like the superpowers it gives me.
Mhm.
But I was not always that way. And I didn't know until I was 30. And it's difficult being, not knowing what's going on and everything. And then it's also, and relationships always been hard for me too, because I can be really difficult in certain things. But it was just like something that we had to learn how to manage, because she is neurotypical and I'm not. And so anyway, so y'all should check that out. And really, I'm putting it out there hoping for people on the internet who have similar issues, and just be like, hey, you can look, ain't nobody weirder and more reviled than I am. So come on here and talk about whatever.
Yeah.
So
From the perspective of someone who is not on the spectrum, at least that I'm not aware of.
Dude, you're on the beefcake spectrum.
Kelsey always says, she's like, you should get tested. She's like, you should get tested.
Look, it is some of the stuff you do is maybe the problem is it's hard to do that, because you know how the internet, especially with like Gen Z, like they love to find stuff that's wrong with them. Like, oh my gosh, I was looking at this, I'm so OCD. Like,
I don't think that's exclusive to Gen Z. I think that's been around a long time, and it's just more visible on them.
Okay, so it's just more visible because of the prevalence of the internet and social media.
Yeah, I think
yeah, you're probably right. But look, you should get tested. Go talk to somebody.
I took one of the online tests, and it definitely came back as a big old positive, but I don't know. But my point was, it's not about me, is someone who is not autistic. You being so open about it has made me more comfortable talking about it, asking questions about it, and getting a better idea. Because honestly, if I didn't know anything about autism, and I didn't know that, there are times where I'd probably be like, that Alan guy's the worst. That guy Alan, oh my God, he makes me so mad. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't understand.
That's why I don't know if you know that I'm on the spectrum. I rarely mention it. I try to lead with that just to dispel anybody's notions of what's going to happen here. So so then when it's like, what is wrong with this man? Oh, that poor guy. That's true. Like, yeah.
You want them to have the sympathy.
The thing is, it's possible. Like autism presents in so many different ways. I was actually diagnosed with OCD before autism. It was not till later that we realized it was not just that OCD is one of the things that's comorbid, because I'm on the spectrum, I am more likely to have those OCD tendencies, which is why no one else can sit in my spot. I can't stand, like, when any settings reset on my camera or anything else, like I can't function. I need the same pair of jeans that fit the same way. I need the same shoes that fit the same way. I need the same hat that fits the same way. I need the same settings on everything that has always been that way. That's all I want it to be. I don't want it to be different. Why can't it be that? Like, it just needs to be the same all the time. And it's not quite Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory, but that's what I was diagnosed with first. And then I went to how did we get here? You're trying to go play Final Fantasy. So it is what it is. So anyway, whatever, et cetera, et cetera.
So
turn the page.
One thing I do, this is kind of embarrassing. I have 7 pairs of the exact same pair of basketball shorts because I refuse to wear anything else to the gym, and I've worn the same hat to the gym for like 5 years now.
Is that
a problem?
I mean, no, that's kindred spirit. That's kindred spirit.
I literally just ordered a pack of tank tops that are the exact same ones I already own.
Seriously.
Like, I probably think I don't have clothes.
I finally had to get a new backpack because I had that one since 2008. It's one of those Swiss backpacks, which is like durable as crap, but it's finally falling apart, like, 15 years later. And I had to order another one. And of course, this is always the case. They have to update everything. So I couldn't get the exact backpack, which is what I wanted. I just wanted the exact backpack. So I had to get a backpack that is probably objectively better, but I don't want it because it's not the same. It doesn't sit on my back the same. I can't adjust the straps to where, like Christina will tell you, she wore my backpack at Busch Gardens. And I put it on and I was immediately like, what's wrong with this backpack? What's wrong with this backpack? What's wrong? Because she had adjusted the straps and all I couldn't stand it being on me. I'm like, did you adjust the straps? She's like, yeah, just a little bit. I'm like, and I had to like spend like several minutes readjusting the straps because I'm just so used to the 15 years of the exact same way. It rests on my shoulders the exact same way. And it felt so weird. So anyway.
So Monday night, Alan's going to do a live stream telling you about autism.
Basically, Christina's going to tell you how it's possible that someone as nice as her could end up with me. That's really what everyone wants to know because everyone thinks that I'm mean and unpleasant.
Only like 40% of the time.
I mean, that's good. That's down from 60. So
yeah. Hey, if there's one thing I can say about you since I've met you is I feel like you've always been improving at something as a person.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you went back, I mean, there's still a lot of yelling, but I think if you went back and watched like the first few Chagman Nuts to now, I think there's some growth there.
Is there? I'm just from what? Yelling? Ranting about things?
Just figuring it out, dude. Sometimes
you know what?
Talk it out.
Figure this out, Jimmy.
So you're going to give me the DX crotch chop for a second. That should be my go home for these videos. And don't forget, suck it. That's a good way to close out this episode.
Well, thank you for having me on again.
Well, you messaged me and said I'm coming on, and I said okay. So you invited yourself.
Well, no, I said no, I didn't. I said I said, do you have a guest for the next Chatting with Nuts? And you said yes, and I said boot him and put me on. That is not what happened. He said
George wants to come on, but if you need to be here, we can.
That is not what you said. You said, no, I don't have a guest lined up. I said, dude, pick me. And then you said, okay, cool. That's what you said. Do not pretend like I booted someone off.
I'm going to leak the text messages on the Ides of March.
Oh my gosh, I would rather you ruin my reputation than send me a Julius Caesar meme. Honestly.
Remember, everyone, Ides of March, make sure to send Alan all your Julius Caesar memes. His Discord is public, and he has a community tab on YouTube that you can also reach out to him.
No, I hate it. Don't do it. I hate it so
I am begging you for all the tens of thousands of people who watch this after. You know, our last episode has 25,000 views. Like very quickly.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the one from like 3 ago?
Yeah.
So that's what happens. So here's what happens. I'm on, and then Jimmy has 2 sets of Chatting with Nuts with guests where no one is listening to me because I'm just screaming into the void in the chat. And then I'm like, I can stand this injustice no longer. Put me on so my opinions can be heard. That's really what happens.
Yeah, I always know when you're going to come on because you're in the chat more. like you were in the chat the entire Sarah episode. I was like, yeah, it's time. It's time to bring him back.
What I'm saying, I have things to say that need to be heard. I can't. You can't erase me, Jimmy.
Only when the caps lock button will not do will he make an appearance on my show. That's basically what it's come down to.
Yes, it starts out typing in the chat. Hey, what's up? How you guys doing? Good to see you. Ahoy! And then it's like all caps, all caps, all caps, all caps.
It is like, ahoy every time. Arguing with Murphy 100% of the time.
Murphy has such bad opinions.
Oh, I love me some Murphy. I love me some Murphy and her bad opinions. I heard her call Berserk's art cluttered the other day and almost vomited on my keyboard.
You know what? Berserk's art is cluttered.
I'm going to lose my mind if more of my friends keep betraying me.
I would actually argue that Berserk is one of the lowest tier animes I've ever seen.
Oh, the anime. Yeah, the anime is terrible.
Oh, yeah, but I read the manga first.
You didn't read the manga.
Manga's trash. I read
you don't read manga.
I read the first book at Barnes and Noble because you can open it.
Well, the first volume is pretty bad.
Jimmy,
not art-wise.
Stop agreeing with me. I haven't read it.
I was going to say, I feel like if you did, you would hate it very much. Like the first page of Berserk, you would hate. You would hate it.
That's probably true.
Yeah, you would. It's unfortunate and also totally understandable, to be honest, even though I love it.
Yeah.
When people come back and go, this is trash, I go, I understand. I get it.
That's like, we're so used to people jumping down other people's throats about like disagreeing with them or not liking stuff they like. Like people feel the need, like everyone thinks that you have to argue with them if they don't like it. And it's like, no. I understand that no one likes the stuff I do. When you're like, when people are like, hey, Alan, I hated this. Hey, I hated Sinless Sins. Hey, I hated Great Coats. Okay. Like, okay, that's fine. Like that,
I'd be
like
beat
I
into
get it.
submission by being surrounded by people that just don't like the things I like. like, oh,
Seriously.
here comes Jimmy with another grandma book. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Oh, Alan's reading KJ Parker. What's today? Tuesday? Like, big surprise.
I think I might.
Hey, Alan, has anybody else read that? No. Hey, Alan, you want to read Way of Kings? Not particularly.
Are you ever going to finish that book?
I mean, yes, but like the problem is what's the point now? Like, really,
Bro,
like, what is
I
the
started
point?
reading it a year ago and I'm almost done. I'm going to beat you.
Okay, cool story. What's the point now, really? Like,
to read Stormlight 5.
But the problem is even if I read it, I still wouldn't be caught up. So I don't even know the point now. Christina, what are you saying? I cannot hear you.
Because you also don't love it. So that's the bigger issue, right?
Oh, I told Christina I would read it because she read it, and I was supposed to. Oh, yeah.
That would be a great stream. Just you two talking about it. Nobody else. Don't bring any book. Don't bring anybody else on. I want to hear Christina's unfiltered, untainted opinions. Like I love that so much.
Yeah, that's true. She thought it was too long.
I wouldn't disagree.
That's what she said. She said it was too long.
A lot of books are too long.
A lot of books are too long. I agree with you. Why are these books so long?
Listen, I say that, but my God, am I excited to read this chunker, Witchward Crown, Ostenard by Tad. Can't wait to read it. It's so long. It's like a 36-hour audiobook.
You mean Mid Williams?
How dare you?
I've never read any
big friend of the channel. I don't want to hear any more of that.
Friend of the channel.
I'm gonna lose my sponsorships.
You are gonna lose your sponsorship.
Alan, why don't you take it home? Why don't you do the outro? I think you know it by now.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. You can make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification for Jimmy. But thank you guys so much. Thanks for being at the chat. It means a lot to you guys. It means a lot to us, rather. We couldn't do it without you. Make sure you check out Alan's channel. He has 5,000 less subs than me. So give him some love. We like to show smaller channels. We like to show smaller channels the love here. Don't worry, next week I'll be live with all of Alan's friends talking about a book that he loves. We didn't invite him on the stream, so make sure you come check that out. So thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And remember to always keep turning the page.